I gotta run to keep from hiding. I'm bound to keep on riding. And I got one more silver dollar. And I ain't gonna let 'em catch me, no. I ain't gonna let 'em catch the Midnight Rider.
Fans, and welcome back to the 4th edition of the Rider Series on Davey Max Tales from the Satellite Saga. I'm your host, Bobby Tambro, and jumping in to correct me as always, because he's the star and knows what he's doing best. He's the reason why we're all here. He taught me how to do radio. He taught Jared how to do radio.
Oh, wow.
He's the reason why Archivist gets a chance to do radio. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my best friend, David McDonald.
Wow! What a wonderful and warm introduction. And I am very, very thankful for that, Robert. I didn't mean to correct you, but technically this is the Midnight Rider Saga
No,
Part
not at
4.
all. I appreciated
Saga.
that. And we've been having a lot of success with it, so I'm glad that you know, this is something we want to put effort into, and so thank you.
Right off the bat.
You want to just roll it back?
No, hell no.
Okay.
Right off the bat, everyone from Patreon, patreon.com/EastsideDave. We cannot thank you enough. We've gotten a ton
That's enough.
of fantastic compliments. No, I mean it. The people on Patreon have been very, very complimentary, even towards you, Robert.
I saw that, and it's, you know what? Much appreciated, guys. I really do. We're trying.
We had an out-of-sync issue, real quick, for the Rider Part 3, and what we did was, but Robert, somehow, I don't know how. I don't know. He went into some sort of laboratory. He time traveled. He was able to somehow, it was insane. He miraculously fixed it. We uploaded it, and then people were DMing me, giving me messages saying, David and Robert's commitment to their audience is second to none.
Now, some might say it was kind of like when a firefighter does arson to be the first one on the scene, because I am the one who screwed up the sink in the first, but I appreciated that you guys recognized that, and we are trying here, and we're getting a little better every week. You see, we might even have a 2-cam shot.
I mean, come on. I think we're doing a phenomenal job. This is fantastic, and everyone really is doing a great job. I know that we also put these on YouTube a month after we put them on Patreon just to spread the word, and that's gotten some fantastic buzz. But we're excited. We love this. We love this, man. And this is going to probably do it for the Rider Saga for a while.
For at least a series. We're going to divvy, and you'll see where we end today and why we're going to take a divvy to make sure people understand.
It's the Rider Saga, we realized, was like we had 40 hours of epic material, and even like Jared and Patrick were like, well, Ronf as Archivist, we're like, you can't skip this stuff. You cannot skip it. And we're like, okay, well, then we'll do a saga. We'll do a series.
Yeah.
We'll do a saga. So this is part 4 of the saga, and this will cover all the bases. Then we'll get into some other contents, and who knows, maybe months down the line or whatever, we'll revisit more Rider. Yeah. But for now, this is going to put an end to the Rider. But we're extremely excited, by the way. We got great stuff.
Just in case you're falling in love with the Rider like I did, and you're going back and you're using the long series that's been listened to a bunch of times on YouTube, this session will actually probably wrap up the first 10 hours or so.
Jesus Christ.
We've still got a ways to go, but it does give you an idea of where to listen to.
It is epic, though. It's one of the it's probably the greatest, it's certainly one of the top 3 greatest storylines, characters. I mean, it's just epic radio right there. It's epic satellite radio, yeah.
Top 3? I'm having a hard time thinking of 2 that could beat that out.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
All right, I'll put it on the Ichiban slot.
Yeah.
Number 1?
I think it goes that, The World, or the War of the Worlds, where he was reading it and people thought we were actually under
Orson
attack.
Welles.
But again, Dave, Orson Welles.
Mayor's Dead in Boston.
Okay.
Those would probably be my top 3 radio moments.
Excellent. Okay.
But that's not what we're here to talk
No.
about. And one of the very funny things about the Rider series is seemingly innocuous things getting blown out of proportion into much bigger things. And today's episode starts with bread and leads into a heated argument, unlike one we've ever seen involving the Rider before. Do you need to take that? Is that the guy you've been waiting to text?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No. You keep talking, Robert.
I'm just going to set the scene.
Yes,
while
he
you
got
take
it.
that.
Yes, I'm good.
Cool. So
Go ahead, buddy.
the show opens and they're playing Stay a Little Bit Longer, but it's a version that's slightly different, and it's kind of set up for Earl begging to stay at the show. Now, it's not Earl singing, it's somebody who's obviously mocking him. And they bring Earl in, and he starts out under the gun. Mm-hmm. He's not been up to par. I mean, this is no news to anybody who's followed Earl's career even slightly. But this was the real first time he had cracked on Ron and Fez, and it hasn't been good. He hasn't been sleeping. We had speculation of what was going on in his head last time, right?
He still makes me chuckle, though. There's always a litany of things. He hasn't been feeling good. He hasn't been sleeping. He's got a headache. It's this, it's that. It's a lot. I'm going to throw something out to you, buddy. You give me a lot of questions. Just a real quick question to you. Do you think he has all these calamities and sicknesses as an excuse for when he fucks up later? That this was always a theory of the Dave Mans, that Earl was saying, Ronnie B, I didn't sleep last night, or Ronnie, I got a headache, I got constant migraines, and next thing you know, it's that built-in thing. Oh, he fucks up during the show, or he fucked up booking a guest. Well, he already set it up for I didn't sleep, I have a migraine. Come on, I want your thoughts on that. Because that was my theory.
So I think it started out initially the opposite. So problem, excuse, right? And then there'd be a problem and an excuse. Problem, excuse, problem. And then it eventually became so cyclical that yesterday's excuse was pre-built in for today's problems. And I don't mean that as a negative. Earl, we've all fallen behind that ball where you just feel things start to slip out from underneath you. But I do think there's a line we're going to get to in a second where Fez, it's kind of Jared, since we started doing the Rider series, is like, you got to ask Dave about this line. You got to ask Dave.
All right, awesome.
You're going to be hate. You're going to not, it's not like a deep thing, but it's pivoting.
I'm excited.
But Fez, at the end of his career, mental health wasn't there. Things were spiraling for Fez.
I never felt like Fez used it as an excuse.
No, that's what I was about to say. Arguably, some of the best moments of his radio career, he drew out of that level of neuroticism, that mental illness. I don't think
that was my point.
It was ever an intention. I think it was always something in the way, not something he looked at. We went back to it on the Christmas episode where you were like, hey, you're going through the worst breakup you've ever been through. Mm-hmm. You got the wind knocked out of you. You got two choices, cry and be a pussy or get into radio.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't quite word it like that because you're not a sexist like me, but you get my point. I don't think Earl had that thing in him.
You don't think he was thinking in that vein? He was just being honest, saying, I didn't sleep well. I have migraines now constantly.
Right, but
all right.
Hang on. Let me throw the question back in your face.
Sure.
Eastside Dave, pretend I'm Ron Bennington. It's 2008.
Okay.
You haven't been sleeping. You have migraines. Yeah. You have 5 minutes to make it a bit for the air. I don't have anything.
Yeah, I would just write something, be crazy, or I would be wild. I'd be wild on the air. I would be wild on the air, and I would be a little bit insane. And, bro, do you know how many times I didn't sleep? I'm not to get too deep or too dark, but Stanley Mack, my son, had cyclical vomiting syndrome as a child. And what that means is he throws.
He didn't have sickle cell anemia, or you might not be the dad.
Jesus fucking Christ. This is my fucking son I'm talking about, please.
And we know that.
God damn you. Just shut up. He's got cyclical vomiting syndrome. I would have to take him to the ER, quite frankly, because the ex-wife, don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but these are just facts, doesn't like hospitals. So even though I had a full-time radio job that I had to get up at 7 in the morning, and I would get home at 9 p.m., okay? And I did that 6 days a week because I did special deliveries on Saturdays.
Like hospitals. Why don't you go today?
Yeah. Oh, no, not today. All the time. And because this was an actual, like, serious chronic illness, I was there sometimes on a weekly basis up in the ER all night long. One time we saw ECW wrestler Balls Mahoney there because he lives locally, or lived locally. John Reckner's his name. He passed away. R.I.P. to Balls Mahoney. Balls, we love you.
What was it?
He's a ECW Extreme Championship Wrestling wrestler with the amount of drugs and headshots.
Okay, so I was hoping it wasn't testicular cancer.
No, but he saw.
She's Balls Mahoney.
Can I tell you something that's actually kind of funny with my son?
Please.
He's in there, and it's fucking 1:30 in the morning. Balls Mahoney's in the ER room, just sitting there. I don't know what the hell he needed to do there. And then I'm with Stanley, and he was still puking. I'm holding him and stuff like that. And Balls Mahoney decides to come over and give us an inspirational wrestling promo. Swear to God. He goes, "Listen, little guy, you got this. You're going to beat this, little man. You're going to beat this. You're going to beat this thing that you got right there. Fuck this shit, man." I'm like, oh my. And by the way, Stanley at this point is like literally 12 months old, like 10 months. Like, it's like you're talking to a baby at this point still. He's not going to understand or comprehend your words, but I appreciate it, Balls.
Yet, you and Stanley, nationally syndicated podcast about wrestling.
Maybe that got him into wrestling.
I mean, at 2, Tiger was chipping him on the, I'm just saying. But anyway, what we've just demonstrated.
What I'm saying is, there were plenty of times where I went to Ron and Fez and didn't sleep all night, or was sick. The only time I absolutely called out was when I had a heart infection. I got the same thing that Bob Dylan had that nearly killed him, and it was a heart sac infection. Pericarditis is what it's called. It can be fatal. And I took off either 3 days or a week of Ron and Fez, and Earl's like, "Look at him, he's staying home." Cause I remember I was ready to kill him for that time. I could have died.
I don't know when that was time-wise, because Earl's insensitivity does come up in this, which is pretty
piece
funny.
of shit.
But you've actually demonstrated my point here, and what a caller calls in to say, which kind of sets the whole ball in motion for the day, which is, "Hey, Earl, in a week, you've been surpassed by a guy in a cowboy hat and a luchador mask. What the fuck?" And Earl kind of goes, and then
I'm better than him by 1,000,000 miles.
And
what did you say?
I believe at one point Ronnie kind of goes, I don't know what's worse, Earl never having a prime, or like you, Fezzy, where you're past your prime. And he's like, "Boy, I wish I could pull out some of those old tapes and just really show you how great you used to be."
Oh, Jesus.
And then this is the line that Jared's been obsessed with. Fez goes, "I haven't hit my peak yet. I think my peak's still to come."
I'm just a little bit slower. Please tell me what song to go to. Well, the rider makes it hard, bump, bump, and I'm tired of banging tars, bump, bump, and what Ronnie just said should be said one more time. Just a little bit longer. Please let me stay. Please say you will. Say you will. Won't you let me be your man of iron? Does it really matter if I'm alive? Whoa, 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 yeah, just a little bit longer. Please tell me that you're going to. Come on and let me stay. Come on and let me stay. Come on and let me stay.
Back with the Ron and Fez show on a Wednesday, 866-RON-0-FEZ. That was Cigar Sid with, I guess, a tribute song to Black Earl Douglas.
I gotta tell you the truth, I had no idea what it was. I didn't understand. So that was Earl wanting to stay with the show?
Yeah, that was Earl wanting to stay, and even though he's in, I guess, in the shadow of the Midnight Rider now.
Earl, do you feel like you are?
Yeah, I feel like I've definitely been eclipsed by the Midnight Rider, but I will over-eclipse the Rider.
866 Run Zero Fez. Fezzy, Cigar Sid will, I guess, be hanging out with the D.C. crowd.
Yeah, some of the members of RunFez.net, they're going to be having a bar night in D.C. Coming up this Friday, they're going to be at Dr. Dreamo's in Arlington, Virginia, starting at 8 p.m. Cigar Sid will probably be there. Bobo's going to be there, Crazy Jen, Kathleen from the Bronx.
Oh, all the stars are showing up. All the stars are showing up in Arlington, Texas. I couldn't believe it. Everybody came out to see me, Kathleen from the Bronx. It was so fucking cool, Reddy B. I felt so scared like Fizzy might have had another heart attack. I told Bra, get in here, because he just gave a pint of blood like a hero.
So it's Dr. Dreamo's in Arlington, Virginia, starting at 8 o'clock. That's this Friday, RunFez.net party.
Why don't we make an appearance, Fez?
This Friday?
Jump on the shuttle. We'll be down there by the time everybody's going to load it.
I don't know if I can make that one.
Yeah, we just leave right here from New York. We hop on the shuttle. It's what, 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Is that how quick it is?
Yeah, it's definitely under an hour, the shuttle flight.
How long is it, Earl? Do you know?
I'm not sure how long the flight is.
We'd be down there in no time at all. I couldn't believe you guys flew all the way down here just to check out my bar night. I was going out of my mind. I thought maybe Fez had another little heart attack or a stroke or something. I was freaking out. Kathleen from the Bronx. Good pal of yours, Fezzy. Send you an email a day?
Oh, yeah, at least one.
I get the, let me judge the show. You know what I like most of all, Ronnie B? I was fucking down when you were with Ricky Gervais. I was going out of my mind. I said, Bra, get in here. Well, he was too weak from giving blood.
I get the, you don't need to hear this, but I'm going to tell you anyway email.
You're special?
Yeah, exactly.
She tells me, she's like, Ronnie, I lied to Fezzy and made him feel good about himself. I hope it worked.
Lies?
Well, you know, when you peaked. I just wish if we could find some old tapes when you used to be on the ball. God damn, you were funny.
I'm still funny. I probably haven't peaked yet. The best is still to come, I think.
What was your big line today?
My big line today was Stocky Room.
Okay. Stocky Room works.
Why is Jared obsessed with that?
Because I think it leads to a great debate. Was his best yet to come?
Well, it depends on what you're looking for. I think for some folks, it could be said that way. You had all the great little speeches that he did, and what some people would say were meltdowns, then is like, can be absolute radio gold. I guess it all depends on what you're looking for. I mean, Fez, though, was like in the NEW days. Forget about the Ron and Ron days, because I wasn't there. I didn't even see it, hear it that much. But as a Ron and Fez fan from WNEW, I mean, he was amazing. Just like Ron, he was absolutely amazing. But this was a different form of Fez. But to me, he's still hysterical.
And what I think it really is like there are guys, right? Kyle Korver for basketball. He's a three-point shooter. That's
Guy looks like Ashton Kutcher.
Comes in the great league, shoots threes. Fez came on as the I'm got a secret producer of the Ron and Ron show. Hit his co-host peak, but the way he was able to transform throughout his career is almost kind of like you've seen with LeBron, where he's become more of a shooter, less of a jam the ball down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it truly, I think so. That's what I think Jared was getting at there. Is it really, for me, one of his best moments was literally his last day, when he decided to retire on April Fool's Day. I truly think as far as retirements go, that's one of the best ways you could have ever done it, right?
Yeah, that is great. Yeah, I mean, he did tons and tons of classic bits. It's
when he got hypnotized and was Opie. And he's at the peak of his depression and things aren't going well, but he got hypnotized and mocked Opie and went toe-to-toe with
that was fantastic.
Fame Opie. And I mean, it's Opie, but...
Fantastic.
Amazing radio. So.
Fez was always entertaining. I think that's almost indisputable. And as opposed to, so if he was going through shit, he was always entertaining. And if Earl was going through shit, it was a reason to shut down.
Right. And when we were saying what you would do if Ron gave you 5 minutes to talk about your sleeplessness, you wouldn't go on and bitch about not sleeping. You'd have a way to work it into something, or it would be
just be
more
crazy.
than just you. Yeah, that's my point. It would be more than just you complaining.
Yeah, I would just
which
act
is what
nuts.
We're getting out of Earl.
Exactly.
So at this point, as that's going on, Fez begins a discussion about bread. And he notes that the twist ties are no more, and it's now these clips. And the clips just don't hold it. And it leads to a couple of good calls where did Fez say he liked his unclipped? And, it really leads in, you eat just
This
the loaf.
is hysterical.
But it leads to a debate. The rider comes in and actually teaches Fez how to do it without using any clips. Where you just twist the bag and invert it.
Yeah, my dad taught me that.
And while that all occurs, Earl is outside taking a personal phone call. We don't know what the call is, but it's a personal
During the
phone
air.
call. Yes. So he comes in.
Show's on the air, and he's taking personal phone calls.
Right. But he comes in, and he's obviously shook because Ron right away goes,
Okay.
Earl, you took a personal call? Because Earl answers the bag question by going, oh, yeah, I hate those bags. They're so flimsy. And Ron goes, you haven't been watching the show at all, have you, Earl? You don't even know what the fuck we're talking about. And the writer goes, well, Earl steps outside to take a phone call. Or something,
He's going outside to do something on his own time, even though it's our time. Even though it's supposed to be the Ron of Fez time, he's doing Earl Douglas time. What is it, the Ron of Fez and Earl Douglas show? I think not. That's weird. Well, hopefully it's nothing too serious. Is it good? Are we going to say the mom died or something?
We never hear.
All right.
Now, Earl obviously has a meltdown because he doesn't take anything well at all. Whenever he's under criticism, there's an excuse. So it was a personal call. Ron comes in and he's like, Earl, what's up? You see him distracted. You see him like something's going on. You seem shook. And he goes, yeah, it was just a personal call. And Ron goes, well, you never take personal calls, so you must be pretty scared right now. And he goes, yeah. I just don't know why we have to bring it up when the rider came in late. And we never brought his personal business up, and eventually throws the rider under the bus for coming into work right on time because his grandmother died.
Oh, my God. Earl said that?
Yes.
He's got 7 dicks in his ass, and there's always room for 8. He's got a fiancée in Niagara Falls. Too bad she's fake. Now he wants us all to believe that he's in love with Anthony's sister.
I'm in love with Don Cumia.
But it's all in his head. All in his head.
Anthony's sister.
Everybody knows Fez don't like the sweet smell of pussy.
I'd love to playfully tease her about her mediocre bass playing.
What?
Her interest.
What the fuck are you doing? What is happening? Ryder, you know what? The new guy, Pepper, when he has this thing in front of him, he looks a little bit like Bill Hicks. Just his eyes and his hair. Pepper, give me a nod. You know who Hicks is or no?
Yeah, I know who Bill Hicks is.
Do you know that you kind of have that look?
No, I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
No, good.
Sit over in front of the thing. Yeah, you kind of have the eyes and Bill Hicks there, so it could work out for him. I don't like the name Pepper. The writer gave it to him. Why did you do that, Ryder?
That was around the hypnosis show. The writer was feeling a little fuzzy inside and thought Pepper's beard, he's very handsome, but thought his beard looked like someone actually spilt pepper on him.
I like Bill Hicks Jr., but that's me.
I had this pet peeve. I've noticed this. When I go to the grocery store, I buy my loaf of bread, right?
I bet you do, Brady.
And
what do you do then? You make it into a big wad? Try to suck it all down once?
No, I have a slice at a time.
Swear?
All right, not always. But they don't have the twist ties on the bread anymore.
Or they have like the little clip?
They have that little plastic clip that does not work. That clip never works. It doesn't stay on the bread. It pops off, or you can't, or it's too hard to get it around the plastic bag once it's open.
I'm not into that whole scene anyway. I don't do the preservative bread anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I gotta have just like real bread that's only good for that day. I don't like the other kind.
Yeah, and here's how bad it doesn't work. They have to now put the loaf of bread inside another plastic bag inside the original because they know that little clip doesn't work to keep the air out of the bag.
So why do they do it?
I have no idea. Maybe it's probably cheaper to have a little plastic clip than a metal wire that you can twist, even though it's going to work better.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I can't imagine that those little ties are very expensive. I can't imagine that you're saving a huge amount of money. Hey, let me ask you something, dude. Where did Sapphire go?
He just left. He doesn't tell me. I ask, where you going? Where you going? Why such the happy feet?
Yeah.
Like they're on fire.
Yeah.
Ronnie B.
So he's on the phone with somebody?
He doesn't tell me.
Yeah.
My sweet Sapphire keeps closed lips.
Who do you think probably keeps the most secrets around here?
Sapphire, who are you on the phone with?
It was family. It was a minor emergency. But everything's okay.
What's going on?
Someone close to us is in the hospital.
Who is it?
Friend of the family.
You need to leave? You need to go?
No, everything's cool.
I've never seen you get a personal call ever, as long as I've known you.
No, I mean, that's why I was like, holy Christ. I was like, this has got to be bad, because I tell him never to call me during noon to 3.
I've never seen you get a call after the show. I've never seen you get a call before. I've never seen you get a personal call. So that had to freak you out, huh?
Yes, it definitely freaked me out.
Did it piss you off that a guy in a mask and a hat was yelling, "Where you going, happy feet? Where you going?"
I just said to him, cover me. I have to take this call. I don't think it's a...
He broke into my conversation going, "I don't know where Earl goes all the time. I thought he was the producer."
He just completely
We're supposed to be hand in hand. You're not supposed to leave me, Saffy. Unless you leave me for Ted DiBiase.
Here's Tom. Tom, you're on Run Fez. We have not seen Little John the intern in forever because I wanted him to be part of the Hypnosis show because he was part last year. What are you up to, man?
Hey, Little John.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
What happened to you, man?
I've been, I went back to school. So,
doing what?
For radio.
I heard a crazy story that you got in trouble with the boys for acting like they were on your radio show or something, and then you, instead of coming back, you went underground. Because I tried to get you to be on the Hypnosis show.
I wish I could have been here.
Yeah.
I really do.
So you hiding from the boys?
No, it's just it's a conflict of schedule right now. I'm trying to come back. I'm probably going to be off on Mondays, so I'll probably be here Mondays.
So you'll come in every Monday?
Yeah, most likely.
No, what do you got to do? Take a beating for what you did?
I guess so.
What exactly did you do?
I used the soundboard on one of my podcasts.
Oh, so you had a podcast. You took Anthony's soundboard? Just used his effects?
It was from the Opie and Jim fight.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of threw them in there a couple times.
To make it seem like they were your friends or something?
Yes.
You asshole. You fucking asshole.
You're interacting with them arguing.
Now, let me ask you. Did you think these pals of yours, this O&A staff, wasn't going to dime you out?
No, I absolutely knew that was
Those bastards, they dime each other out so quickly. I never saw anything like it.
Yeah.
So you're going to take a beating when you get back. You haven't seen Opie since you did it?
I haven't been here really that much since. I think I was here once.
Holy shit.
It wasn't anything major though. It was just like 2 or 3 lines thrown in.
Were you nervous even coming in now? 3 hours early?
You're acting like Jimmy and Opie are your bitches in this fucking podcast of yours?
No, it was just like a random. I would throw them in and it'd be like yes, no, kind of just responses.
Now why would you do something so stupid?
I don't know. I was bored and I had the soundboards there and I was just going through them and clicking.
Now what do? You rip off the soundboards from the show and treat them like they're your own?
No, we pretty much acknowledge that. You know, we ripped off Opie and Anthony, and you know.
Who do you do the show with?
I do it a couple friends of mine just randomly.
All these kids, they're instead of breaking in the radio, they just have their own podcast.
Well, actually, it was live. We were doing it live where we could take callers and stuff. At the time, now the show is only a podcast because the stream we were using is currently down. So.
What were you on, some website?
No, it was my friend owns a internet radio station. He runs it, so. He was able to use me on air as an on-air personality. Yeah, the whole thing of an internet radio, I still don't see how that's just not just a website. It's really not radio, right? Well, I basically built a studio in my room. I have a soundboard and I have microphones, and so it's not just like me sitting in front of a computer. Right. There's actual board and stuff involved. So you feel like you're on the radio? Yeah, I do. It's the atmosphere. So now Radio War, you against Opie because both of you use the same drops. I guess so. All right. I love it. When are you coming back? I want to hear that battle. I guess I'll be back Monday.
All right, man.
We'll see how
Well, it's
that
good
goes.
to see you. I wanted to have you in here to get hypnotized.
I wish
you were
I
hysterical
wish,
last year.
I wish someone would have called me. I would have made the effort to get
Sapphire, you didn't call? I told you to get a hold of Lil Jon.
I believe that responsibility fell on the Midnight Rider to contact.
Ryder, why aren't you doing this? I'm finding out more and more now from Earl. He may be gaining on you.
I was never told that by Earl Douglas. I do believe at one point we tried to find Lil Jon, but he was so buried in the underground.
So you did know. You know we were looking for him.
Yeah.
So why why can't you acknowledge that Earl was right?
Well, because I didn't think it was my
Did you
responsibility
call?
to him. No, I didn't call Lil Jon. No.
Earl, did you expect Ryder to call?
Yes, he had all the numbers, especially for he had all the numbers for everyone.
That quickly, Earl's gaining, Fezzy. I ain't saying he's past the Ryder,
Right?
but an employee of the month, Earl's looking very strong on this.
He heard he had a week deadline.
Sapphire also is a little confused, and obviously the lack of sleep is affecting Sapphire's mental capacity, Daddy. And let me just tell you something else. He is in charge of getting the guests for the show. So why would I call Lil Jon to be a guest on the show? Thank you. End of discussion, Daddy.
Sapphire?
Yeah, once again, the Midnight Rider is passing the blame back onto me after I'm delegating.
Getting guests on the show.
After I delegated a duty to him, it was his
Ew.
responsibility. And once again, when the shit hits the fan, he tosses the blame back on me.
Chris, you're on Fez.
Hey, what's up, Ron?
Yeah.
Did I hear it right, or did Fez say that he likes his bread unclipped?
He likes everything unclipped.
All right, I'm out. Later.
Peace.
I don't like the new plastic clips on the bread. It's the worst. It really is like the worst food innovation, I think, since instant potatoes.
And it's 100% now?
Yeah, I think it's on I think every loaf of bread is doing it now. Every bread maker.
I want you to go around and check all the bread, because you're just straight Wonder Bread.
Yeah, that's.
Do me a favor and go around and check the other breads next time you're out, just to see whether this has eclipsed the old bread tie. Earl, do you know what kind of bread do you get?
I usually go with Wonder Bread.
So your same thing as Fez.
Yeah.
You find these clips unusable?
Yeah, they're not as sturdy as they used to be. They're really flimsy now. You used to be able to just use them at will using it for other things, for like baggies or everything. Now they're just really weak and flimsy.
You are not listening to the show. It's not about the bag. It's about the clip. Fez said he wants the old tie, and now they've moved it into a plastic clip. I'm saying you get the same kind. Not you fucking reusing bread bags like a little old lady. John, you're on Mount Fez.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks now, and the Midnight Rider's already getting run. What is it with assistant producers there, man? They can't do their job.
Well, this is the first time the Rider's taken any heat, and I don't know which one's telling the truth, Fez.
So, well, obviously nobody called Little John.
Now,
I gotta run, keep from hiding.
Now, I love my sweet, sweet Sapphire like a bear loves honey, but let me tell you something, Daddy. He is in charge, Sapphire's in charge of getting the guests. Is that not what Sapphire has been doing for 2 bloody years? I'm not going to curse, even if it is satellite.
Sure.
So why would I be in charge? He asked me, Dave. He asked the old producer, Dave, who then relayed to the Midnight Rider.
Right. What happened exactly?
He asked the old producer, Dave,
right,
to talk to me.
Right.
And that person, Eastside Dave, eventually talked to me.
That's very confusing.
Very confusing indeed.
Yeah.
But the main point was, we couldn't track down...
thought he called you Dave.
No, sir. Run it be, please.
That would be stupid as Sapphire.
And the main point here, Daddy, is that we tried to hunt down Little John.
Yeah.
But alas, could not find him.
He's got a phone.
Number.
Do you have a phone?
I do have a phone. And if he had contacted Dave, Dave would have been able to get in contact to give him my number.
Well, Dave has your number?
Dave has my number.
Used
he could
to.
have given it to Midnight
Used
Rider.
to have
How
it.
do you know that?
Used to have it. Dave got a new cell phone is what he told me the other day. I finally met Eastside Dave last night.
Yeah.
All right, fine. I'm not going to pretend that, we're friends, because we're not.
Right.
But he was the former producer.
Yeah.
So I felt like he could give me a couple tips on how to deal with Ronnie B and Fezzy W. Yesterday I met with Eastside Dave, and Eastside Dave did let me borrow his cell phone. If you even looked at
You know what I want to do?
Yeah.
I want to get both of you in here together one day and work this out.
We'll do that
That would be
eventually,
very
Ronnie
interesting.
B.
Yeah.
But the main point is, after Midnight Rider gave Sapphire these instructions, then it's back to Sappy. Because Sappy books the gift, don't he, Ronnie B?
Yeah, he does. Sappy, let me ask you a question. When he came back and said he doesn't have the number, you just let it go?
Well, he told the story of how...
Why not ask E-Rock?
Or Bronx Johnny would have been able to contact me.
Bronx Johnny's in there with you all the time. I haven't seen him in a week.
Apparently Little John is the easiest person to get a hold of ever.
I really am. I have a website. Someone could have contacted me.
Jeff, you're on Ron and Fez.
I wanted to explain to Fezzy why they don't have twist ties anymore. I worked in a commercial bakery for 17 years.
All right, good.
And the twist ties, the machines that put them on there are not as fast and as efficient as the plastic clips. They could go on there. You can give them those machines clip about 90 loaves a minute, and the others only could twist about 45 to 50. So most commercial bakeries run around 12 to 14,000 loaves an hour. So it's all.
But Fez is no longer getting the service that he wants. He doesn't like the new clip. It doesn't work for him.
I don't know how it could go faster if now you're having to put the loaf of bread into two different bags, a bag inside a bag, because that clip won't keep the first bag sealed, the outer bag.
Yeah, why don't you just tie it with your hand?
Yeah, but
well, then it's going to be in a knot, and I'm going to have to undo that every time I want bread.
Those bags come like that. The machine blows those bags up. They're done at the printer like that, at the manufacturer. And they're just on a great big roll or a bundle, and it's all about the end product and making profit.
He's right there. All right, what do you got there, Ryder?
I have a loaf of bread here.
Yeah.
Ronnie B. And what the Ryder does is he twists the bread like so, then inverts the bag above the twist and puts it over the rest of the bread, and this one's going to keep your bread fresh out of the day there, Fezzy W.
This is like Martha Stewart, Fez. You can learn how to keep bread without the tie.
So this is not using a clip or a tie anything, just folding the bag a certain way.
How do you like it?
To lock in freshness. I guess I'm going to have to go to this, because the clip doesn't work.
Once again, the Ryder.
That's right. Maybelline.
I got
where I asked Earl pretty much the same question, and he tells me he likes to reuse the bag and put his fucking bus coins in there.
Well, I didn't hear the first part of it because I had
Why not? You're here. You're the fucking producer of the show.
I understand it, but I had to take a phone call, and I stepped out for a moment, and I wasn't able to hear it.
I don't think there was
the same time.
There was no one on the end of that line, Ronnie B.
What?
I don't think so, Ronnie. We know he talked to imaginary people as witnessed last night.
Hello, this is Earl. Sell all my stocks so I'll get the rich money from it. Sell my stocks and then use that money to buy diamonds. Earl, is that what you're doing? Pretend phone? Because that phone of yours is plastic.
No, I got a phone call, and I took the phone call.
What about the phone call I take early this morning from John Manelli saying we haven't heard back from you guys. When are we going to get this stuff going? What happened there, Earl?
Well, I failed to get back to John on that one, and I will...
When is the last time we talked about you keeping up with people? Not even 12 hours ago.
Yes, I understand that, but... One of the things I was going to do was call this morning. I was going to make that call. I was going to make a couple of calls this morning, but I got completely sidetracked this morning.
What did you get sidetracked with?
Dealing with, well, the rider was a few minutes late, so I had to cover for him. He was like almost an hour late than he usually comes in for.
So the rider fucked up. Again, it's the rider's mistake.
That's nothing to bring up. Did you tell Ronnie B. and Fezzy why I was late?
Why is the rider late?
Because, and here's the thing, Rod don't use excuses. By the way, all the show prep, all the things, all the audio was done.
Yeah.
And the Rod doesn't sign and cry about his things on the air, but go ahead, tell him now.
Why was he late?
Tell him now.
No,
you brought it up. Tell him.
Uh-oh.
No, when I got in, there was only the interns were here.
Why won't you tell us why you had to cover for him?
No, he said he claims he had a personal situation that he had to take care of.
What was the situation I said, Sapphire?
He said there was a death in the family.
Yes. Thanks.
So
Thank
you're ball busting.
Wow.
Thank you.
When your friend had a death in the family,
And I
you
didn't
out
hear-
him as being late.
No, but I didn't know that at the time. Once he explained
You
it to
know
me-
it now, motherfucker, and you're fucking saying to me, I had to cover for this bum.
When I got in, no one was here. I couldn't get a hold of the guy.
Because I can't be talking to Sapphire
No way-
when
so
there's
what
more
am I do-
important things and fish to fry.
So what am I supposed to do? I got to move forward. And then he came in, and then I said, what happened? He said, there was a situation, there was a death in the family, to which I said, hey, I'm sorry to hear that. And that was the end of the situation.
But no one else had to hear about the rider's problems, the rider's sorrows. No one else. Ronnie B, Fezzy W, the listening audience at home don't need to hear about it because the rider moved forward, baby.
But I'm taking the heat for it, Ryder. And I'm only explaining.
You didn't do one fucking thing about my job.
I didn't.
Did you do the show prep?
Here we go.
Did you do the show prep, Mr. Sapphire?
I was in the midst of doing it when you
You
walked
didn't
in.
have one measly word. Did you? Pepper, back me up on this. Pepper, back me up. Did he write one word of show prep?
All right, Pepper, the man they call Bill Hicks Jr., grab a mic.
Did Sapphire write one word?
Did he do anything that he wouldn't normally do? Did Sapphire do anything?
When, today?
Yeah.
Yes.
He just came in and it was business as usual. He didn't really do much.
That's business
He
as
didn't write
usual.
one word of show prep. He didn't burn the audio that I had to burn today. What did you do exactly?
When I had just started to do it when you walked in.
So you said you had a full hour.
Wait a second. So if I'm late, you came at the same time as me, Daddy.
No.
If I'm so late, that's you being early? And that's right, 10:45 for the rider is late. It's a heck of a late start for the rider who likes to get here at 9:30, Daddy.
You're spitting all over the place, Ryder.
Because the rider, for once, is a little aggravated. It's not electrified funk that he's used to. He's used to happiness and dreams. Sapphire challenging me like Bob.
I kind of agree with Sapphire. I think it's very selfish to have a death in the family.
That's right.
Very, very selfish.
Very selfish indeed.
Yeah.
Maybe I should be like Jesus, say, hey, you're Lazarus, Midnight Rider kin. Wake up from the dead because it'll hurt Sapphire's feelings if I'm 15 minutes late.
Is that what he should have done? Should he have awoken the dead?
I don't even think he has the ability to wake the dead. But at least make a phone.
Oh, man, you're laughing and he's got a death in the family.
No, but at least make a phone call explaining what's going on.
I'm
Just make that one phone call.
I'm in the subway trying my hardest to get here. And what are you going to do about it anyway? I knew I was going to arrive at 10:40, 10:45. You usually don't show up till 11:15, 11:20. I wasn't counting on you being on time for once. And by the way, it's not really on time. I love how Sapphire thinks being on at 10:45 is, woo! Give Sapphire 7 gold stars, Ronnie, and 13 bonus points.
We don't give out gold stars or bonus points.
Well, you should.
We really should.
We do producer of the month.
John, you're on Run Fez.
Yes, hi. I just want to tell Fez that he can buy the bread with the twist ties. He just got to buy the Sara Lee brand.
Why don't you go to Sara Lee, Fuzzy?
All right, I've never had the Sara Lee bread, but, this whole plastic clip thing may drive me there. Because it's too frustrating trying to get slices of bread and then close that bag again with a plastic clip.
You son of a bitch. First of all, as far as the rider goes, do you know how difficult it is to be a producer when people are constantly trying to unmask you, take your fucking hat, do this and that? So even though Eastside Dave would consistently show up an hour and a half, 2 hours previous to airtime for the Ron and Fez show, the rider might probably showed up at the same time because he took the same bus. But at the same time, if the rider did show up a little closer to air, it's simply because I was always having to fend off these Opie and Anthony fucking assholes and losers trying to unmask the rider. And also my grandmother dying, that's a pretty good excuse.
One specific day in particular where he was pointing it out. It wasn't all the time because you're always beating Earl there. He's the noon arriver. We learned that last episode. He's literally picking the one day and he throws you under the bus because your grandma died, and you're like, and you didn't even fucking help me. And he was like, I was trying to do the prep when I got there, and you were like, you didn't do not a prep. Get in here, Pepper Hicks. Vouch for me.
And also, Earl, Earl. Way to fucking ruin shit. Because the goddamn Midnight Rider's grandmother didn't die. Eastside Dave's did. Understood? Now, the Rider, of course, was late that day because he was consoling Dave. And again, we do these episodes sort of like OJ, if I killed her, if I was the Rider. But that's low, Earl Dougie. Low.
Now, you, to be fair, the way it was played on Ron and Fez was that it was a Rider's family member. It never quite came out grandmother. We know now, historically looking back, it was the Rider's
It was my grandmother, yes.
Yeah, or Dave's grandmother, depending on which incarnation.
The grandmother died.
And this really leads to a fight between Dave and Earl about who's picking up whose slack. And the way it really all comes to a head is by a man named Little John.
Johnny! I loved Little John the intern. Tiny little guy. But also kind of like a nice looking, handsome little guy, but very small. But I loved Little John. What does he have to do with this?
Well, if you loved him so much, why didn't you call him for the hypnosis show?
I don't know why.
Well, apparently it was your job, and that's where the real fight came in, is that Earl designated it to the Rider, and the Rider comes in and gives a speech and kind of points out that, who does the booking, Rodney?
There you go. Hold on. Why didn't I book Little John? Because I don't book guests. You do. Even though, actually, just as a bonus, I certainly got fucking people into the radio studio. The fucking guy from Lost, Tom Cruise's cousin, the bad guy, Ethan. I got it. Not Ethan Hawke, just whatever. Ethan from Lost, I got him in there. I got a bunch of people. Nicole Atkins. So let's not pretend that I didn't get people in.
Diet?
Not of the Atkins diet. Singer Nicole Atkins. Very, very wonderful. Very lovely.
Oh, the sister of your two wrestling buddies.
No. She's got nothing to do with the Atkins brothers, who I do manage in the IWF to championship success. In fact, Robert Atkins currently is the IWF American Championship. This is tangential. The point is that I book plenty of people, but it's not even my job. It's fucking Earl's job. Don't look at me. Why didn't I book Lil Jon? Why didn't you book Lil Jon? How come you didn't book Lil Jon? Why did I book Lil Jon? Why didn't you book him? Robert, I was in a great goddamn mood when you came over. We was going to order a pizza tonight.
We still
Now I'm not even fucking hungry. Now I'm looking to get fucking...
Earl.
Should have gotten a goddamn IPA. I was sitting here drinking the water thinking I'll be responsible for this goddamn episode. And now motherfucking Dougie calls me out? You should have booked Little John, motherfucker, and my grandmother died. I'm going to get your grandmother. I'm going to put your grandmother in hell, Earl. I'm going to make sure Grandmother Douglas sucks off Adolf Hitler's dick, baby. Does a 69. Maybe even gets finger cuffed by 80 and Mussolini, baby. Like Mussolini and Gandhi. I'm Earl's grandmother, fuck me.
So basically, Little John has been missing for a while.
Yeah.
And what happened was he did a podcast where he had the soundboard from Opie and Jim's fight and cut it so it made it sound like Opie and Jim were doing the show with him. And decided that he was just going to take some time off before he faced the boys.
Oh my God, that's so funny. We had the best interns.
Yeah, I mean, so do you think that would still irritate like Opie and Jim if we did that?
I think it's a hysterical idea. I mean, why? No, I can't imagine they would be upset by that. I think they probably would have thought that was humorous.
Okay, because for the first part of this episode, I've been just cutting in it to make it sound like Opie was just sitting over there going, "Yeah, brother man,
Please,
brother man."
He's joking. I hope. If you had to experience that in the first 15 minutes of the program, I apologize.
Brother man.
I apologize. Right there. But Lil Jon was great. Lil Jon was another classic intern. And I actually saw him.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I saw Lil Jon at Fez Fest. FezCon.
Of FezCon. Recently, the Bennington Show, the current iteration of Ron and Fez, did a Chris Stanley tribute
celebration.
Yeah, which is kind of cool because what we learn in this, while all of this hullabaloo is going on about Lil Jon, we learned the origin of Chris's 2 nicknames.
We do.
We do.
See, I remember giving him Pepper simply because.
Go on.
Oh, am I accurate with that?
So far, yeah.
Because I thought he had a salt and pepper type hair and beard and stuff.
I mean, pretty much spot on. The Rider said he gave him the nickname because he was still a little hypnotized and just looked up and saw what looked like somebody actually dumped pepper into Pepper's beard, and that's why you gave him the nickname.
There you go. There was a logic behind it. Why would he have run from that? How come there's no more Chris Pepper Stanley? It's just Chris Stanley. That name Pepper it's so endearing.
Well, in a previous episode, we may have pointed out, Ron was like, Chris Stanley is a great name for radio. Why are we calling him anything other than that? But
just Pepper's a fun nickname.
We also learned Ron does not like the nickname Pepper. He thinks it's fucking stupid. And he goes, you ever notice, Pepper, you look like a young Bill Hicks. Thus the name is born, Pepper Hicks.
Yeah, Pepper Hicks. Yeah, he thought that Chris looked like young Bill Hicks, which I could see a little. I never thought he looked so much like Bill Hicks.
I mean, if you squint your eyes.
Yeah.
Same general.
What do you like better? I'll put you on the spot. You've burned down so many bridges that you might as well be put on the spot.
Go to Chris Stanley.
Neither of us were invited. Thanks a lot, asshole. That was all because of you.
Sometimes, communication needs to be recognized, David.
Hey, by the way, I hope it was a great celebration. I mean it. I love Chris Pepper Stanley. Are you kidding me? No, I wouldn't have been able to get invited anyway because I'm still banned from the Sirius XM building because of no reason whatsoever. We'll go down that road a later time. But it's fucking so soft. It's so weak. It's so pussy that I'm banned from Sirius XM. Like, what? Did Sirius XM not think that, we know that how many people that they have right now, on their fucking payroll who have committed crimes, who have committed assault at Sirius XM? I know a producer who assaulted someone, who literally kicked someone in the balls so hard the kid was pissing blood. This wasn't on the air. This was off the air. That guy's still working there. He literally assaulted a kid. It wasn't for a bit. There are so many people who work there that have been fucking convicted for crimes. And I'm fucking still banned from the building like I'm the actual bearded Joker? Go fuck you. Go fucking sit on my finger and rotate. You weak, soft bitches. Thank you very much.
Seeing as I have a decent relationship with Sirius XM still, I'd like to say those are the views of Eastside Dave McDonald.
That's just me. Robert doesn't feel that way. That's all me. I'll own that. That's a Davey Mack thing. Okay?
But you know me, I'm ride or die. So anyway, speaking of ride or die.
Did you say ride or die? Like you want the rider to die?
No, I'm a ride or die.
I thought you were fucking threatening my ass right here. Whoa. Now listen, Daddy, if you're going to be saying ride or die, then I'm going to say Robert die. And then the two of us are going to get into a knife fight right here on Davey Mack's Tales from the Satellite. And all these beautiful cameras are going to record it live for posterity.
Now, you look here, sir. You want to bring that tone to me? You call me Ted DiBiase, because I'm going to tap you out and fuck your bitch.
Ted DiBiase?
Isn't that who did that?
I don't think he's the $1 million man.
Didn't he steal Sapphire?
Yeah, oh, yeah. You're right. Okay, good reference. He's dropping the mic. And that's the end. So, look, that's the Rider Saga, Part 4.
Robert knew more about wrestling than Dave.
You're right. $1 million man, Ted DiBiase, stole Sapphire.
But
money, 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 money. Everybody's got a price. Listen to this. Everybody's gonna pay, 'cause the $1 million man always gets his way. Money, 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 money. That's the $1 Million Man theme song. Okay?
Yep. You want to sing it one more time?
Money, 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 money. Yes, I do, because I think I could do a better job vocally. Everybody's got a price. Everybody's gonna pay. Because the $1 Million Man always gets his way. Money, 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 money.
Do you find it ironic Vince's songs, No Way in Hell, with all these allegations coming out?
You got no chance. Vince is up shit creek without a paddle. Woo!
Be up piss creek. His paddles this deep. I think it's all Sam's fault, but we talked about that on the Davey
Off
Max
the air,
Sports
yeah. We
program.
got a good conspiracy theory on the Davey Max Sports program. Make sure you're subscribing to all the shows, by the way, on the East Side Empire. We want you. We need you. Davey Max Sports program especially. Make sure you're subscribing to that anywhere you get a podcast or on YouTube. All right, Robert.
No, you're doing great. And while you're
Thank
on
you.
the internet, what I'd recommend doing is heading on over to SilkCityHotSauce.com and using the promo code RIDER to get yourself some hot sauce that you can put on popcorn as you watch the rest of this beautiful episode.
Let me tell you something about Silk City hot sauce, baby. Here's the thing about Silk City hot sauce. Lots of hot sauces, okay? Only concentrate on the spicy. You understand that Silk City hot sauce doesn't just do spice. They do sweet, they do sour, and they do flavor. Silk City hot sauce is what I call delicious, Daddy. And I'm on the range, and I'm sitting there by the cows, having my beans, having my pork, having whatever I have. And I need a little kick. My food needs a little kick. I need a little, give me some more taste. Give me some more flavor. Then give me Silk City hot sauce. That's the hot sauce that I love. Cause in Silk City hot sauce, they give me some goodness, and it makes the tummy feel nice and hot and warm. Cold day like today, 32 degrees in New Jersey. Oh my gosh. Robert, it's so cold out there. Instead of a tumbleweed, I saw a snowball rolling into town. And the point is, I needed to warm up. How did I warm up? With not just some spiciness, but flavor? Silk City hot sauce. That's how the rider warms up. Oh! I love you, Silk City hot sauce.
Doesn't get better than that.
Cause I got one more Silk City hot sauce, and I ain't gonna let them sauce me, no. I ain't gonna let them sauce the Silk City hot sauce.
Promo code RIDER. Now, that kind of ends that episode. You guys have your fight. My favorite part is every time you take an attack at Earl, Ron will be like, yeah, but you had a death in your family. Or be like, yeah, Dave, but you have family members that die.
Yeah, that seems insensitive.
No, it's pointing out how ridiculous Earl was being about like, it's really only like, yeah, but come on, you have people die.
I mean, at the same time, in all honesty, while I'm fired up and I sort of want to punch him for saying that, it's also funny.
Maybe use different language.
I mean, not punch, because that's where Sirius XM. See, this is the point. This is how radio guys speak. Sirius XM, you're so fucking weak. This is what we do. Radio guys are always like, hey, if I see you on the street, I'm gonna punch you in the face. No one, come on. No one means it. But it's also kind of funny. You got to give him credit for that. He calling me out being late one time in my Ron and Fez career, and that's a fact. Once. Once. Not twice. Once. And it was because my grandmother died.
You didn't even take the day off.
No, I did not,
You were
pal.
just late.
I was just late, bud.
Pretty impressive. So that's kind of how that fight ends. You kind of put Earl in his place.
Thank you.
We come back the next day, and Earl and Fez are talking about their lifestyles, their bachelor lifestyle.
Both of them gay men, of course.
That is where it goes right away. Yeah,
kidding.
of
I was
course.
kidding.
No, but that is literally right where it goes. A caller calls and he's like, as a gay man, I can confirm Earl Douglas is gay. It kind of moves on a little bit, and then Earl, out of the blue, comes back, and he's like, I would like to say I'm not happy with my life.
I'm not happy with his life.
Ron's like, that's out of nowhere, buddy. What do you mean? And he's like, no, like I want to have a girl and like all this stuff, which still goes back to my conspiracy about the abortion, right? He's got that phone call he had to take from her.
You feel like Earl had, there was a possible abortion scenario with Earl, and that drove him crazy.
To be clear, the abortion theory came straight from Davey Mack. You went on the record saying that you thought Earl had an abortion, and then he covered his tracks.
On the show?
Miscarriage. On this show, yes.
On this show?
On this show, you said that.
How many fucking IPAs did I have? Okay, let's just... I was sober then. Okay, well, let's just, continue.
So I think that's who called him, was the chick who was having a breakdown. That's why he's not sleeping, because he's having nightmares. Daddy.
You know what? Never thought of it, but you know what? There's a possibility that there was something insane going on.
Now she's listening to the show. He just got a text where it was like, "What? You're happy with your back?" And he had to go in and be like, "No, like I want to love him." You know what I mean? Like I think because anytime you're going through something, it's on air. If Davey Mack or the writer has something in his personal life going on, the audience knows about it. Now, it may not be the fullest extent, but they're getting enough that you're expressing your frustration creatively.
Sure, usually.
Fez Whatley, the first to bring anything he's going through the air. Ronnie B, not so much, but usually he'll, bring it up in some kind of way. Same with Pepper, but Earl tends to he tries to hide stuff instead of getting it out there.
He did. So. Earl would have been great in the Nixon administration if they hired black guys. Because I didn't see a lot. But he would have loved the whole Watergate. Because he loves a cover-up. That guy is Mr. Cover-Up City.
Would have been hard to get him on camera.
But you would always just tell Earl. I swear to God, I would see trouble for Earl sometimes coming a mile away. And I would tell him, talk to Ron about this. Just go to Ron and say, hey, here's an issue, blah, blah, blah. And get ahead of it. No, I got this. I got this. And be like, you don't get it? You don't got this. You never get this. Ever. You consistently don't get this. I got this, Dave. I got it. Well, no, he doesn't need to know. Okay. That was my advice. The cover-up is always worse than the crime, baby. But you don't want to fucking listen to the Dave, man. I watch all the goddamn Watergate documentaries and shit. They just threw Ehrlichman under the bus, and then day one, the whole fucking thing would have went away.
Halfway through, the security footage would have flipped to the Yankees game.
Exactly!
Which actually reminds me, that was how you guys ended your fight, is Earl made a bunch of apologies to everybody. The first one he made an apology to was the rider.
All right.
Pointed out, I would have appreciated the words if you hadn't been smiling the whole time, Daddy. Seemed a little disingenuous. Then he apologizes to Bobo, not our Bobo, for saying that he should smash his ukulele and shit in it or something.
Oh,
the
Ron and Fez, Bobo.
What was that about? Do you remember? What was their beef? And do you like Bobo?
Yeah, he was fun. He would play little songs and stuff. Yeah, he was good. Yeah, why would he be so angry at that guy? Because you know what, Robert? It was probably a very frivolous. The guy probably wrote a 5-second, 10-second ditty about Earl, and he took that way, personally. So yeah, no, there was no serious beef. So Earl went crazy on the poor dude.
He was super insulted and sent a message that he should smash his ukulele. If somebody made an insulting song about us, we'd just show up at their house with a gun.
Or I just rant here. I mean, that's what that's what microphones are for. Why not rant?
Yeah, I got you, Dave. Rant. Their daughter would be like, "When's Daddy coming home?"
No, I won't be doing that. No.
You want me to wink for you? So he makes an apology to Bobo. He makes an apology. The writer chimes up and he's like, "I think he should make an apology to O&A for screwing up the Grammys, Daddy." And
threw me under the bus for that.
Fez goes, "That was a year ago." And the writer goes, "I don't think there's ever been an official apology, though."
There wasn't. He was the only person who changed the fucking TV in the O&A studio from the Grammys to the Yankees. Because they had a big screen television and he wants to watch the Yankees for free, not pay for the Yes Network. That's why he didn't go back to his apartment. That's why he would stay at the SiriusXM Ron and Fez offices until 10 p.m. He would pretend that he was working and tell everyone, "I'll stay here till 10 p.m. Yeah, well, what were you doing the last 3 hours? You were watching the Yankee game for free. Don't think I'm stupid. Anyway, he was the only one who would go in there. They were trying to tape the Grammys. They taped the Yankees instead because Earl changed the channel. And he never had the decency to fucking admit it. I was there at day 2 of my Ron and Fez career. And they're like, I wonder if it's that redheaded guy, that new redheaded
Be honest,
freaking
you're
guy.
not the most professional-looking individual in the world either. You're very, into whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? You look like the type of guy who might do something spastically.
Yeah, I might do something spastically if you tape the Yankees game instead of the Grammys and blame it on me, and then the huge hit morning radio show is going, all right, let's roll that Grammys footage from last night. What the fuck is this? Who the fuck, why am I watching Derek Jeter? And the next thing you know, it's, that big, tall, redheaded weirdo must have done it. Well, and he never just said, it was all my fault, guys. Come on, he could have just said it.
He took full responsibility.
He didn't. He never took accountability.
He kept saying, I take full responsibility. He would never be like, I screwed up. He just kept saying, I took full responsibility.
He kept saying, I take full responsibility. Knowing full well that he was implying that because he was the senior producer, he takes full responsibility, implying that it was someone else. That it was like, staff of two. There was two producers at the time. Two. So if he takes full responsibility, he's applying someone else did it, which was me. Instead of just saying, sorry, O&A, I taped over the Grammys because I'm a Yankee fan who wants to watch the games for free and not pay for cable. That's all he had to do. Instead, I take full responsibility. Oh, okay. So did you do it? I take full responsibility.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but did you do it? I'll take full responsibility.
Well, maybe he should have taken full responsibility of his love life.
You know what full responsibility is? I did it! You son of a bitch.
And even if you were the one who changed the channel.
Which I wasn't.
No, but if you had been, and he admitted, and he wanted to take care of you, he would just be like, I did it. He would say he was the one who changed the channel. There wouldn't be I'm taking responsibility. He would just step up and be like, yep, that was me. That's how a real leader would operate.
It was one of the more weaker things, and if you want to
is impressive.
Be honest.
Wow.
If you're just on the job, and that happens to you, you go, holy fuck! I just joined a staff of two, and the guy who's above me just totally threw me under the bus in this situation where I'm 100% innocent. So if anyone thinks that, why would I ever have an axe to grind with Earl? How about that? How about my career could have gotten fucking derailed because I could have been the guy who fucked with the Opie and Anthony show on day 2, even though it was 100% Earl. That's actually, the more I think about it, that's some low-rent fucking no-balls bullshit. I guess that's why he's allowed back in the Sirius XM building and I'm not.
Bob, you're on Fez.
Hello?
Yeah, what can we do for you?
I called for one of those. Earl, though, him being the boss, man. When I was the boss, one thing, when the shit goes down, you don't be pointing fingers. You're the boss. You say, hey, the buck stops with me. It's my responsibility. And yes, it was my fault. There's more respect in that than sitting there pointing fingers.
That is true. Earl, you never thought to yourself, hey, I got a guy down. He's got a death in the family. He wants to keep it personal. I won't out him on the air.
And I perfectly planned on doing that. I totally planned on doing that.
I had asked you. Excuse me. Wasn't that what I had asked you? Don't mention this to anybody. I'd like to keep this private. This is not a bit. So let's not talk about it or use it as excuses. I came in here
and
with the same sunshine.
Earl, what about when you said this? That Bobo is an ill-begotten son of a bitch. He should shit in his ukulele.
Oh, no.
And then take that shit-filled ukulele, shove it into his ass, and then shit it back out and shove it back up into his ass. Did you not say that, Sapphire?
I cannot confirm nor deny making such statements.
That's a little harsh.
Though I was.
You were angry when you said it.
I was very angry, and I did make some very pointed comments about his ukulele.
Some way to treat friends, Safi. Might as well go over to
something. All right, Fezzy, what we really came down to, you're switching from Wonder Bread to Sarah Lee.
Yeah, I got to go to Sarah Lee now because they still have the twist ties.
Let me tell you something. Everybody doesn't like something,
right?
But nobody doesn't like Sarah Lee.
Does that mean everybody likes Sarah Lee?
I don't know. I'm just saying eat it.
Right.
So you stop fucking crying about twist ties like you're someone's grandmother.
It drives me nuts when they got something that works and then they got to go and change it.
But just so you know, because I know I always want you to be one of the boys.
Right.
The boys don't sit around and talk about what twist tie is best on a loaf of bread. It's just not masculine behavior. You know what I mean, Sapphire?
Yes, I absolutely know what you mean.
Now, you got a beautiful little treat there on how to keep your bread by inverting the bag back around it.
Yeah, you do the bag inside out around the rest of the bread.
Seems like you're putting dirt on your bread, though, huh?
It really does, because the filthy outside of the wrapper is now on the inside.
You're a bit of a germaphobe.
Yeah, I totally have that. I gotta watch different things, like how the interns bring in my water, that sort of thing.
Jojo, you're on Ron and Fez.
How you guys doing?
Yeah.
I have a question. I've been away for a while. Why is Dave talking like a nigger?
Jojo. Oh, so you fucking drop your little racial thing.
White people are so scared of black people.
Sapphire, this is why you deserve reparations. I'm sorry. Who are you on the phone with, family?
I'm on the phone with the XM, actually.
Everything okay?
Yeah, everything's okay now.
What happened?
What was wrong?
They were having trouble with the pad data, so I had to resend the info.
Huh.
Maybe the problem was XM got backstabbed by Sapphire. That seems to be the problem around here.
You're the one with deaths in your family.
That's right.
He's
crying.
Yeah, I understand.
Crying.
You're upset. Well,
life goes on, Ronnie.
I know it does. Not for that family member, though. They're dead.
No, they're not going to make it to the rainbows and the sunshine anymore.
I guess even desperados cry.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. That desperado better come to his senses. He's been out riding fences for too long now.
That's insane. Quit
You're a
riding
hard
fences.
one. I know you got your reason. Meatball, you're on a fez.
Hey, question for Ryder. I just want to know if it was Coco, the blue-eyed husky, that died.
Oh, man.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
I know it doesn't.
What's that supposed to do?
Well, you know the former producer that you talked to last night?
Yes, Ronnie.
He lets dogs lick his balls.
Ooh, not this, cowboy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's all horses and cattle field?
Well, one time.
All right.
Few sheep.
Randy, you're on Run Fez.
BS307, buddies. Yeah,
Face!
I remember last year when Fez had his stent put in, Earl was like, what, he's not going to come in the next day? He's heartless.
Oh, yeah, you missed that. Because you were in the hospital.
Right.
But the day after, I came in and did the show without you. By the way, just the saddest shows I've ever done. Because all I can think of is you up there with your fucking heart wide open or whatever the hell happened to you. And Sapphire does a whole thing about you can tell who the motivated ones are and who wants to be the goers and who cares and puts the show out first.
Really, Sapphire?
I've kept that from you for over a year now.
I wish you hadn't. I wish I had known. I understand I wasn't in the best medical condition to hear news like that. Maybe that's what I did, Sapphire. Maybe I put all of my heart into the show until it had an attack.
I couldn't have happened. Because I know your motivations. Jeff, you're on Run Fez.
I have a solution, guys, for Fez's bread problem.
Yeah.
Rip out his stent and use that to tie the loaf.
All right. First of all, that offends me, but look who's laughing, Sapphire.
A stent procedure is funny to Sapphire.
I guess.
The fact that I have heart damage now. I have a scarred heart and a stent that's the only thing keeping blood going through that artery. That's brutal.
Kind of funny, right, Earl?
Yeah, there's some humor in it, but it's kind of dark.
You think that's funny, Sappy? My God.
Very dark humor.
Dark humor. I get it. Black humor.
Well, you would get it, Earl.
Yeah.
What's happened to my sweet Sappy? What happened to you?
There's nothing sweet about that guy. We're finding it all out now.
What, are you on the writer's side?
Well, yeah, when I find out that my stent's being made fun of.
Striker, you're on Run Fez.
Yeah, hey, buddies.
Yeah.
Hey, Fezzy, I feel the same way as you do. I hate them damn little plastic clips on the bread.
Right.
So I followed it the easy way. I went to the grocery store and bought, I think for like under $1, bought a little baggie of twisty ties, and I have my own for each bread. And I know who died in the Ryder's family. It was the rabbit. We now know what the Ryder and Tiffany have been doing.
I'm going to send you to the big-ass prize class of Fez because of all your problems and worries and thinking about switching breads. All you got to do is get your own twisties.
I didn't know they sold twisties separately.
Of course they do. You can buy anything. This is the United States of America.
Hold on, buddy. You're getting a DVD copy of American Pimp from the Shout Factory. This DVD contains the documentary directed by the Hughes brothers and the bonus CD from the music used in the film. Go to shoutfactory.com.
Bobo. Hey, it's Bobo. How you doing, pal?
Hiya, buddies.
Hey, buddy boy.
Boy, howdy, my asshole hurts. And my ukulele stinks. What happened?
Well, you don't. If Earl tells you to shit in your ukulele, then take that shit-filled ukulele, shove it into your ass, shit it back out again, repack, and shove it back up your ass. You don't have to do it.
I don't?
Yeah.
Don't do it, Bobo.
Now, you got an apology from Earl after he ripped you last night?
Yeah. He sent me an email. It was dated or timed at like 10:49, so... he did the right thing as far as I'm concerned, and I think we're flush, and I hope we're buddies, if you can hear me, Earl.
Earl, what would you like to say to him?
It's like, hello, Bobo. And that thing about the...
Why don't you say your apology on the air? Give me some sad music, Fez, some, like, we're trying to be friends again music. Go ahead, Earl, I'll stay out of the way.
Hey, Bobo, it's me, Earl, and I just want to say I'm sorry for insulting you and your ukulele and inferring that you should put that ukulele in various places of your orifice and packing it and doing all those...
What exactly did you tell him to do?
Well, I told him to shit in the ukulele.
And then what?
And then shove it up his ass, and then shit it back out, repeat the procedure, and then shove it back up his ass. So, but I just want to say... to you and your ukulele that I'm sorry. And I'm terribly, terribly sorry. It was out of line.
You're a big man. Is there something you want to say to the writer about outing him today?
Ryder, I'm sorry for putting out your personal business out on the air. I know it's a painful and private time, and I just want to say I'm sorry.
Anything you'd like to say to Fez?
Fez, I'm sorry for making any inferences about your heart problems and your stent and making it a twist tie at all. And I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, I'm deeply, deeply sorry.
What would you like to say right now, if you could, from the bottom of your heart, to Pepper, the man we call Bill Hicks Jr.? Hicksy.
Pepper, Bill Hicks Jr., I'm terribly sorry for putting you in a bad spot this morning. I know you're new and an intern, and I don't want... to put you between you and me and the writer. I'm terribly sorry.
It's beautiful. I think everybody accepts his apology.
I'm willing to accept and move on.
I'd like to accept my apology if he could say it with the other large grin from ear to ear. That part disturbs me a little bit, but the words were nice.
Are you just grinning over him having a dead family member?
Yeah, what exactly was so funny?
You know what he said to me? He goes, why don't we have... And I don't even know who in your family died, but he goes, if we can get pictures of that person in Ryder's family that died, we could wipe our asses with it and then leave it out for the writer to find.
Sapphire.
The way it treats the deceased.
Yeah.
Sappy, I don't know why you strayed from the goodness.
And even talked about taping him to the coffin, which to me...
Daddy, that's...
you know what I think is the problem with that, too? It's shit-stained. And you're not going to get... it doesn't help people mourn.
No, not when they're concerned about what they're smelling at a funeral.
People are used to smelling flowers. Roses.
Don't let Earl near the funeral, because you never know what he's planning.
Sometimes roses smell like poo, 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 poo. I heard that in a fucking song last year.
That's true, but...
Here's Eric. Eric, you're on Run Fez. Let me try again. Go ahead, Eric. You're on the Run Fez show.
Hey, Ronnie. I know why they use those clips instead of the tide.
Why is that?
It's cheaper to print the expiration date and the price on those clips instead of the bag.
Oh, yeah. That way you're going to know, Fezzy, because they do put the little expiration date on there.
Yeah, that's where it is now, instead of printing it on the bag.
I'm worried that if you go and get your own ties,
right,
you're going to be eating old moldy bread.
Well, I think a part of this whole clip thing is the scam of it won't close the bread bag close enough.
Should you even be eating bread? I thought you were South Beaching it with your heart.
Well, I can have, like, whole wheat bread if it has, enough fiber in it.
Fez.
What?
Should you?
Probably not. It's probably not the best thing for me.
And Wonder makes a whole wheat bread?
Yeah, Wonder will make a whole wheat bread.
I know. Why don't you get real bread instead of the Wonder Bread? Maybe then you wouldn't have to worry about preservatives clogging up your heart. Here's Stink Bomb, the man we call Radio Shark. How you doing, Shark?
Hey, shouldn't Earl apologize to G-Vac also?
Yeah, good point.
You owe him one?
Yeah. Send one out to G-Vac.
G-Vac, if you're listening, I want to say I'm sorry for calling you a two-faced, backstabbing son of a bitch. And, but, you know, I was out of line. I got a little angry. And I want to say to G-Vac that I'm sorry.
Like where you're coming from, big man. It's a whole new start for you. You know what you're doing? Making amends. Making amends. That's what we call it in the program.
Just want to make it right, Ronnie.
You know when it was time for me to make amends, Fez?
When?
Well, I mean, when it was time for me to make amends?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Fuck them, I said. This is my thing. So I don't do all the steps. I do some of the steps. I don't do any steps where I have to tell anyone I'm sorry. Or face people that I fucked over.
Aren't those important?
Or pay back money.
Aren't those important steps, though?
I take every step two at a time.
Oh.
Whatever you're doing. I go over the other steps. Let me talk to Pat. Pat, you're on Run Fez.
Hey, I wanted to know if Earl apologize to all your listeners for being a poor, lazy black man.
All right, that's a little racist. You're going to get this.
White people are so scared of black people.
But Earl, is there anything you'd like to say to the listeners?
Well, to all the listeners except for Pat, I would like to apologize for being not on my game for the last couple of weeks. I'm definitely...
Are you getting enough sleep now?
I slept like a baby.
I'm kidding. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I don't care about sleeping habits of other guys.
Shouldn't Thaffy also be apologizing to Opie and Anthony for ruining their Grammys last year?
That was almost a year ago.
Yes, but I don't believe an apology was ever uttered on...
No, he always said that he didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's time. If you're doing
that was your real last meltdown where you went crazy and ran down the steps. I missed that, Earl.
No, because I took responsibility for it.
By running down the steps?
No, I got really angry, and rather than do something really, really stupid that I couldn't take back, I said, you know what, let me just walk out and get my head together.
Did it work for you?
It definitely worked for me. I mean, I still, I got 30 days in the hole, but...
Oh, yeah, you got to put on real... Now, have you ever gotten a raise because of that?
No, I have not.
Have you ever brought it up with Wiki?
We had to do another review after the 30 days, and then, we got a review coming up in a couple of weeks, but...
So that's when you asked for the raise?
Yeah, that's when I attempted to ask for a raise.
You're Noriega.
You're afraid... Earl's always afraid to ask for a raise, because if he does, he could get fired. It could... They could go into the file and pull things out. So he tries to hide when it's time to ask for a raise. Are you going to ask for one?
Absolutely ask for a raise.
What percentage?
I'll be fair, 5%. That's more than fair.
How do you even know it's there, 5%?
I think the minimum wage increase was more than 5%.
No, I just think it's a fair number. I mean, anything I think over 10 would be ridiculous.
Why? The thing is, what's ridiculous is that you've been cashing these checks. Have you started picking up your Free FM checks yet?
Just one.
Yeah. Feel like you're stealing?
No, I do not feel like I'm stealing.
No. To me, you ought to put a mask on every time you go into the bank with that because you're fucking stealing. You should have like a Hamburglar mask that you wear at all times. Right back, Ron and Fez.
Ron Bennington, Fez Watley, The Ron and Fez Show. XM202.
And were you expecting me to get this fired up?
Yes, I was. We were, in fact, banking heavily on it.
I wasn't.
But
I was in a perfectly good mood before, when the show started.
By the time we're done, you're going to be in a great mood, buddy.
All right.
But, so we learn Earl's alone. He does say that he would like a woman in his life. Now, at one point, the caller calls in and says he would love a Cribs edition of Fez's apartment. To which Ron goes, we couldn't get the licensing from Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and DC Comics. And the writer has the same reaction and gets in some real trouble for that. Fez is not happy.
That's funny. It's fun. Ron said that?
Ron said that, of course. Yeah.
glad. I should have made sure it was Ron before I laughed like that. Because if you had said Earl said that, I would have had to have taken back. I would have had to have canceled this episode. That's hysterical. There was so much Batman stuff all over the place. Like I think he even might have had a Batman rug that just had like the bat symbol, like when they shoot out the light.
Oh,
like I think he had like a rug like that or something
shot out
like.
the light?
Well, no, there was no light. I mean, like the emblem, the fucking famous bat emblem.
That's a little less cool than if it had shot out the light.
No, it didn't. Yeah, that would have been cool.
My buddy
Yeah,
was a
last
little
stuff.
bit of a Fez that I worked with at Dick's, and for his birthday one year, I bought him a speaker that was like a Batman speaker, and it would shoot the bat signal up to the ceiling.
See, if we had known that, we would have gotten that for Fez.
Well, he'd probably still be alive today, so
for
that's
his
on you.
Oh, please. Please don't be so dark. It's horrible to say something like that. Continue now. What were we talking
Who
about?
was finger cuffing Earl's grandmother in hell?
Adolf Hitler and like Mussolini and Gandhi. We're taking Earl's grandmother and we're gonna do a DP.
I love it. So, talking about the loneliness, Ron eventually starts blaming Fez and Earl for getting Dave voted out. They start talking about people who had a political failure and then came back, and everybody goes, well, like
Nixon,
kind of like Dave, and they're like, well, that was Earl and Fez's fault. I didn't like how that vote went. I thought he won, but he lost.
I should have won, right?
And
Remember?
that's what Ron says. Happy Typing Girl calls him to have his back. Now, we discussed in the Origin episode that was the exact opposite of what occurred. That, of course, Ron swayed the vote so that you got voted out. And it's weird to see that alliance.
Well, things are always shifting on the Ron and Fez show. Things are always at play. Unpredictability is the key. You just got to go with the flow, my friend. Be water, as they say.
Well, my point was, it seems like the rider's starting to take off, and Ron's hitching himself to the winning team. He's like, I'm on this guy's side all along. I think that's what's going on.
Well,
here.
or not. He just said that he felt like the East Side Dave vote didn't go well?
Oh, good point. Because
that
Dave
could be
wasn't
Ron
the rider.
100% planting the seed for a Davey Mack return. 100% because we weren't going to do the rider forever.
Brilliant point.
So I'm going to say Ron was planting a seed right
and
there.
he does at one point in this bring up the idea of at some point you two are going to have to meet Dave and the rider.
All right.
So,
what this is telling me is we had the idea for the wrestling match. I know we're not going to jump to that. I'm just saying that Ron is a genius, and I feel like he may have been laying some of the groundwork and some of the seeds for the culminating wrestling match.
I was kind of laughing because you were like, we're not going to jump to that, Dave. It'll be this time next year. And we'll be like, all right, so then we started to lay the seeds of the wrestling match.
The big ass bash, baby.
Now, another interesting thing that's occurring while they're talking about love is the idea of a performance review comes up. Now, everybody's going to have a performance review in a couple of days.
Uh-oh.
The rider, Earl's apparently going to ask for a 5% raise. Ron's biggest concern is that perhaps Wicklund might listen to the show. It's one of my favorite lines.
My biggest concern is that someone's going to hear everything that you're doing.
Now, Earl, if I could give you some advice, I've been in the business a while. My biggest fear for you is that Wicklund listens to the show.
Yeah.
And just like he's
going to
got
have to
some
distract him.
Real big secret, yeah.
Between noon and 3, try to give him some kind of job or, some sort of mission to do if you can, so that he doesn't hear the show.
And at the same time, the rider, they're asking, are you going to wear your mask? And Fez goes, well, I don't see why he wouldn't. And so did you wear your mask for the performance review? Because I know you've bragged the whole time, and I'm not.
Yeah, I did.
Rightfully so.
No, I did because again, there were just too many peripheral people hanging around that office.
That's what I was curious
And Wicklund knew me, and he knew, what I could bring to the table. So I was able to, everything was cool. He wasn't going to be a total dick with that scenario. He's been a dick before, but not with that scenario. And so, yeah, I definitely wore the mask and the hat still.
What goes into a performance review?
A performance
review. The reason
review.
I asked before, because not to give anything away from your career, but like a lack of a raise is ultimately what it did it for you, right?
Yeah, I got paid
And,
like shit, and it was
performance
ridiculous.
review, one of my favorite moments is Earl announces how much his raise was at one point. Not in this particular raise, but a different one. And you and Chris Pepper Stanley go nuts.
I mean, well, listen, when you're getting underpaid and you're getting underpaid vastly, you are like, at some point it weighs on you and it's insulting. I'll say it. I'll say the number. I was getting paid $37,000 when I was twice the producer that Earl Douglas and the senior producers of the Opie and Anthony staff were. And because of that, because they were simply senior producers, they would get a range of $60,000 to $80,000. And I was like, what the fuck? I am out-producing these guys by leaps and bounds. Fact! Sorry! Look at all the fucking great fucking shit we've done on the air. Just with the Rider Saga alone, I deserved a significant raise. And yes, that is why I left, because they were like, okay, you're going to get a raise. Excellent. It was $100 a month.
So did a performance review actually yield a raise ever? Or what went into it? Because I was at Dick's, I never signed one.
No, I didn't get a fucking raise from XM at this performance review. But the performance review goes like, so how do you contribute to the Ron and Fez show? Oh. And you go, well, I do this. And they're like, oh, okay. Anything else? Yeah, actually, I do this, and this. Oh, anything else? Yeah. Also, I do this, and this. Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much. Well, you do a lot. Well, you've been doing a bang-up job. It was all bullshit. Steve Blatter was the guy who was so fucking clueless. He looks like a Doonesbury character. He's not Wicklund, but he's still there, I believe. And he's got the long, thin nose, the fucking eyes. He looks like a Doonesbury character. And Steve Blatter would always say, so you're a producer, right? So, like, tell me, what do you produce? And, what do you do? That's what he would say. And I would go, well, do you hear this bit? Do you hear this sketch? Do you hear this character? Do you hear this game show? And he would go, yeah, but I mean, what do you produce? And I would say, all of these bits and sketches. Too many people at SiriusXM get production confused with producing. Producing is simply get something fucking good on the air. It could be a confessional story, a game show, a sketch, a parody song, whatever. As long as you're getting some fun content on the fucking air, you're producing. Steve Blatter didn't understand that. And Wicklund kind of didn't understand that. And they equate producing with production. It's different. Production is just simply fucking making sounders, making fucking stingers, making things, uploading audio, all the bullshit.
Which, to be honest, most of the production that ended up on air for Ron and Fez came from the audience at a certain point.
100%. Also, I did do production.
You did as well, but my point is, it wasn't like these other radio shows like O&A where they didn't have people making shit for them.
Right.
Your audience was contributing high-level produced pieces on a regular basis, one of which we actually see in this segment, which is the Sapphire song. And we're going to play it right now while we take our first commercial break and make sure this all taped.
6 Ron Zero Fez, 866 Ron Zero Fez. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Fez Watley.
Hiya, buddies. Thanks for being with us today on XM202.
Are you talking to me or are you talking to the listeners?
I'm talking to the listeners, to all the buddies.
I thought you were looking at me and you said thanks for being here. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you for having me.
I do appreciate you being here too, though.
That's uncomfortable. Black Earl, we talked to the boss today. You and the Midnight Rider, February 7th. We're sitting down with the boss, and what is the actual corporate title for this?
The Employee Review.
The Employee Review.
I love this time of year. February 7th, and a couple Wednesdays, it'll be the Employee Review for Black Earl Douglas and the Midnight Rider.
Now, Fez, do you and we never get reviewed?
No, we don't get reviewed.
Why is that?
I think it might be part of our contract that we don't get reviewed.
Do not judge these gentlemen. They do not like it. All right, so Earl, you up for this? Are you going to prepare for it anyway? Or
I'm totally up for it. I'm ready for it. I'm really enthusiastic about it.
Here's my worry for you, okay? Can I coach you a little bit?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what petrifies me about this. What if the truth comes out. That's what has me nervous. And the Midnight Rider, will he do his review with or without the mask?
It will be with the mask.
Oh.
I don't think he'll be required to unmask for this interview.
Why would the Rider go anywhere without his mask, Daddy?
See, I don't even understand how you got past Master Poe. There should be some... We don't know who that is.
I'm charming, Ronnie B. Charming.
You know, even the interns have to have a background check in case, one of them's an axe murderer or something.
The only background check I know is when Earl's talking with the girl interns. He gives that a background check. Yeah. Or as he calls it, a black girl's booty report. So, Earl, you're not nervous about this at all?
No, not at all. I am. Actually, believe it or not, I feel more confident about this review than I was petrified last year.
Well, this year, I warn you something. Wiki listens to the show. So that's going to be a problem for you.
He's already been asking me questions.
Yeah.
What's with Earl? Not specific questions, just what's with Earl?
Yeah, that's pretty much everybody's questions, isn't it? Overall, what exactly is going on with Earl?
So hopefully Wiki will get to the bottom of it in this review.
Let him get where a black psychiatrist can't. Finding out exactly what's going on in Earl's head. Steve, you're on Fez.
Hey, boys, what's going on?
Yeah.
Let's review the tape real quick. Earl is a 30-something confirmed bachelor. He's finicky about the decorations in his bathroom. He's scared to death of a relationship with a woman, and he likes to go to galleries. Earl, I hate to say it, buddy, but you're gay. That's all.
And let me throw in, loves mama. Absolutely loves mama.
Love both my parents, thank you very much.
Yeah, but it's all about mama for you, Earl.
I love my daddy, too.
Not as much. Not on the lips.
You call him the suitor, and it really makes you angry. Mongo, you're on Fez.
Hey, guys. Hey, can we do a Ron and Fez cribs on Fez's home? Take the camera through?
It would only be shown on the Cartoon Network. I don't think that anyone, even MTV age, would be interested in Fez's apartment.
We would have to get permission from DC Comics and the World Wrestling Entertainment to show their trademark logos.
Do you feel like there's a lack of responsibility in your life, Fez, or no?
I feel like I have enough to do with being responsible for myself. So, yeah, I guess you could say there's definitely a lack of responsibility. I'm not nearly as responsible for as many things as other people, that have kids or relationships or even pets.
But you are self-sufficient.
Right,
You don't ask the world for anything. You just want your little few rooms that you can keep your things in, and you're happy.
That's all I need. I'm my own responsibility.
Are you happy, though, or are you content? Are you somewhat comfortable?
I'm probably more comfortable and content than I am happy.
Because you tried to tell me and the Rider one day that you enjoy cleaning, that you enjoy being alone, and when the Rider laughed in your face, you were pretty upset with him.
Yeah, because I do enjoy being by myself. I mean, I'm comfortable being by myself, and I guess comfort equals enjoyability.
I believe the thing he enjoyed so much was vacuuming, which the Rider must have chuckled a few times, Daddy.
You laughed, you pointed, and you made him very angry at you.
To me, it's a nice accomplishment. If I'm getting stuff done, it's a nice accomplishment to feel good about.
But it's a made-up one, right? I mean, only you see it.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, I couldn't feel comfortable if I knew I had things, if I knew there was dishes in the sink. I couldn't feel comfortable with that.
When's the last time someone's been in your apartment?
Probably a few months ago. Like probably 3 months ago.
What about you, Earl?
A month. Almost a solid month.
All right, before that nut case, who was in your apartment?
I had... Wow. It's probably 6 months. Oh, my God. Outside of, the super. 6
and
months.
That nut case was the one that made you hate being with people, right?
No, not at all. I mean, that
was somebody before.
It was somebody from last spring.
Daryl, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ronnie, Daryl from Winnipeg. Hey, Ronnie, who are those two women you're working with? One's wearing a house coat, and the other one wants to do housework.
Bathrobe.
Learn how to do things.
Yeah, it is. They are somewhat effeminate, both of them, in their own way.
And I'm a little worried about the next pizza boy to come to Fez's house. I'm sure he's going to see his junk.
I think that'll be the least of our problems. I do think Fez is bound to do something completely antisocial and somewhat frightening. And that's what started this whole thing between you and ADF and Sheepy, is that you were outside looking homeless and disheveled and confused with the world, and that basically put you on a bus with slow motion, and finally YouTube and MSNBC got to see you as a stupid homeless person.
Yeah, that's where it all started. And that was, you know, the odd thing about that day where ADF and Sheepy saw me out in New York was that was the day where it's like, you know what, I'm going to go out. I'm going to hang out in the city, just walk around and enjoy some things. I'm not going to spend all day in my apartment. And that's exactly what happened to me.
But you were wandering around disheveled and muttering.
I was not.
You weren't enjoying because you were, like, confused by being in a store.
I was confused because I had never been in the store before. I couldn't even tell where the cashiers were. It didn't make me muttering and disheveled, according to them.
Tank Rizzo, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, I'm a gay man, and I can confirm that from everything that Earl has said, he is gay.
What is it that Earl said that set this off with you? Oh, he's gone. He didn't stay with it. Earl, will you confirm that, and then we'll move on?
No, I will not confirm it, because I'm not gay.
Doom Vulture, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, is Fez's house like Tom Hanks' apartment in Big?
Well, the thing is, Tom Hanks' apartment, you know, at least he had a little friend to share it with. He had people over. He was playing with his things, where Fez is in a no-play zone.
Yeah, mine just go on display. Yeah, I just put them up like they were
And then you don't even play video games.
No, I've never played video games.
You don't watch movies at home.
No, not too often.
You don't listen to music.
No.
You say you go on the computer.
Right.
What kind of sites do you go to?
Mostly just news sites, something like that, or the message boards.
Show prep.
Right, yeah.
That's show prep.
Yeah.
That's not enjoying articles. That's what do I do when I'm back at work on Monday. So that's really work for you.
Yeah, that's true.
So you've got no art outside of some cartoon stuff in your life.
True.
No music, no film.
No, if I listen to a CD, it's going to be one that I've listened to time and time, like not a new artist, but just a CD that I've had and I've enjoyed before, and I'll just pop back in.
Give me an example.
Like the U2 CD.
Which one?
The one that has Beautiful Day on it. I don't even know what it's called.
So you don't even know the name, the title. It got given to you somehow.
Right, yeah.
You're listening to it. It brings back all those 9/11 feelings when you first heard it, and you can sit there in your apartment worrying about a terrorist attack.
Basically, yeah.
As you scan FARC.com or Drudge Report. You can see where this sounds a little dismal. You can see where it sounds a little sad.
See, out loud it does seem dismal and sad, but it doesn't seem dismal and sad when I'm doing it.
Oh, it's very tearful, Daddy. Very, very tearful. Come on,
Thank you,
Feather.
Ryder.
Feather, maybe I could move in with you for an afternoon or two.
You want to try putting him with you for 1 week?
No, I really don't.
I got s'mores, Daddy. I got s'mores. We'll sit by the campfire.
You'll have somebody to talk to.
I can't see myself just talking to the Ryder all night. Or all weekend.
What if you tie strings to each other's balls and you just go back and forth? You have to fucking swing the balls, but you can't break the string. Swing the balls, but you can't break the string. You know, little games to make life fun.
Enticing as it is, I'm going to go ahead and decline.
You're turning into Patsy Decline anymore. It's just, there's no way to shake you out of this. And you know what? We started with one topic, you know, and it was always supposed to be out there. It was a philosophical question.
Right.
But now it turns into Fez's sad life and how we all wanted to change. And this happens time and time again with this show. It's impossible for you just to think about Perry, who wrote this, and what Perry should do. That doesn't matter to you. Yours comes back to, I don't want anybody in my apartment because I don't want anyone to touch my vacuum cleaner. All right, right back, Ron and Fez.
The Ron and Fez Show. XM2.
No, she was in what? The Scream movies, and then she had her own little TV show. And,
yeah, she was Moesha on TV.
Yeah, and then she also was a waitress in some kind of sailor's bar somewhere, Fez. Yeah, here it is. Here's the whole story. Hey, Nate, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey.
Dave.
Yeah.
I wonder what flavor brandy she was drinking before she got in the car, or was it whiskey and wine?
You know, here's the thing. Probably Brandy is just her nickname. She stays fucked up all the time. She drinks so much brandy, we ought to call her Brandy. Ha ha!
That's how Evelyn Champagne King got it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
This is one thing I just need to clarify on about me being. I'm content, but I'm not really happy about my situation right now.
What? What are you talking about?
What the hell?
No, just going back to earlier.
What's your problem, Brandy?
Well, there's this whole idea that I was perfectly content with being single and being alone. I'm content with it, but I'm not particularly happy about it.
You know that all happened 15 minutes ago?
Yeah,
and
but
it's been sitting there stirring around in your little fucking pea brain all this time?
Yeah, it's just been kind of floating around in my
So
head.
you're content, but you're not happy?
But no, I'm not happy about it at all.
Fucking join End Date. Get out there and meet some people.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's E-Date.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Well, there's a J Date, right?
Yeah, there's J dating.
Well, no, why not something for Earl, where he can meet people from the West End. Frank, you're on Run Fez.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
Just getting back to the Jared Leto thing. Well, didn't he play Colin Farrell's gay lover in Alexander? And
you know, Frank, next time you want to call us, just go to IMDb. Because really, I've had it with the Jared Leto/Leto. I can't think about him anymore. Right now, I'm worried about finding somebody for Earl.
Yeah, I'm just a little alone right now.
Sure, you crave cock. I understand.
No.
All right, 866-RUN-0-FEZ. 866-RUN-0-FEZ. Ty, you're on the Run Fez show. Ty, go ahead.
I think Earl was sitting there listening to that song Brandy, thinking about Brandy. Now he wants to be with Brandy.
You want to be with
Before he brought
Brandy?
it back up 15.
Why don't you write her a fan letter?
I think Ty's right there, but I think Earl got left by a sailor.
Oh, I got you. Tony, you're on Run Fez.
Fucking Earl, that sly dog. The whole reason he brought that up about being content is because he wants Lily to know that he's looking for somebody to live with him.
You're in love with Lily.
Fuck.
No, I am far from in love.
Bullshit, you're not.
Bullshit.
I agree with Tony.
You are in love with Lily. There. I said it. Finally the truth. Now, Earl, she doesn't love you.
No, we don't. I mean, we don't love. I don't think she definitely doesn't love me because I got 3 strikes against me already.
What are your 3 strikes?
I'm too old. I'm black, and I'm not Albanian. Those are the 3 strikes.
Stifler is an Albanian, and he fucking banged her from here all the way down to fucking Long Island Sound.
All the way to Albania.
Which really is probably too much for me to say. Bo, you're on Run Fez.
Ronnie, I got to call you out. Your buddy Earl's sitting there crying out for help, and you're just slapping his dick in the dirt.
Yeah, I can't help it. You know what I mean? I'm not a fucking sensitive guy. I got to point that out. And for some reason, it always wasn't this way, but Earl has become the guy in our gang that gets picked on. When did that switch, Earl?
I have no idea.
When Harry left?
I guess.
Or when Dave left?
I don't know when it happened. I was like, every night I look at this, like, where's the bullseye on my back? What happened?
Why me? Why Earl? You better fucking work your ass off to get either Harry or Dave back. The fucking Midnight Rider is way too cool. We're not going to take him on.
That was a good one. We're back. We did not eat any of the pizza.
No, the pizza arrived, though, but it's sitting here because we are professionals and decided, you know what, we're on a roll, we're feeling it, we're enjoying the episode, let's keep going.
And can you see audio levels coming up on that camera, Dave?
I can. They seem pretty good.
You know why?
They seem real good.
Because we're goddamn professionals. Unlike some other producers you may have worked with in the past, the minute food was in the room, you would run and eat it right away and get distracted with what you were doing. And that's not a shot at anybody. Like, you know the type.
Oh, yeah.
The best example I can think of is Luby Popovic at Comic-Con. The minute food comes in, it doesn't matter what she's doing, she's eating.
You know, the only time, though, that the one time when that's annoying is if it's brought in for the Ron and Fez show and Ron nor Fez, like someone brings a cake and they didn't get any because a swarm of O&A hornets devour all the food, you know, especially maybe a guy named Eric or something like that. You know, I mean, just I'm not trying to point anybody out, but especially chubby people. Chubby people would usually get their fat little chubby fingers and hands on the food first. Next thing you know, I'm trying to say, where's the goddamn food for Fez Whatley and Ron Bennington?
That's so funny. The reason I specifically chose Luby is because she's the one person who goes out of her way to be like, make sure everybody eats before she actually eats. Like, I chose her to not throw her under the bus.
And I chose Eric to throw him under the bus.
Sometimes when there's pizza, you would hear a rumbling, and the March of the Elephants would play.
Exactly.
And Ron would go, call me Ishmael, because a white whale just ate all my snacks.
Yeah. I mean, come on, you can't do that. If you're a producer, make sure the goddamn hosts get all the food, and then maybe you get some leftovers.
That's one of the rules of being a producer.
100%.
What are some of the other golden rules? Perhaps interactions with interns?
Well, an interaction with intern. Try to be a leadership. Try to be a leader. Try to be a good listener. Try to give good advice. Try to give some counsel. Try to be a bartender. If they have some issues, try to listen to them, and then try to guide and maybe even creatively push them into a direction.
I'm glad you clarified. I thought you meant like be a bartender, get them drunk, and
I've done that too. No, but I mean, you try to just like listen, you try to be cool, and then you know what, you're doing a great job.
Because when we left, we were talking about Earl and how he was single, and then he randomly out of the blue was like, I want somebody in my life. And a caller calls in to point out the only reason Earl said that is earlier in the week, Lily said she was looking for a place to live.
Oh my God.
And Ron Bennington.
That's awkward as fuck.
That's awkward. And then Ron Bennington takes it a step further because he has had enough. And he just goes, Earl, just fucking admit it. You're in love with Lily. That's why you're fucked up. And just calls him out.
Well, he is. And I think he still is to this very day. The last time I actually saw Lily post anything on Twitter, she was doing some sort of live twit stream thing. And it was her and Earl sitting on a couch. And she was smoking pot. Sort of like, actually,
I was about to say,
it was like
let's
this
not be too
scenario.
critical.
Yeah, I mean, it was like this scenario, except, Robert was in the Lily role, and I sadly am in the Earl role, I guess. Except I'm a little more talkative than Earl on the Earl and Lily show.
And I'm more fuckable.
Well, because I don't think he said anything. But that tells you, all these years later, he's still doing some sort of Twitter show with him.
Dave, what was I supposed to say when I was sitting next to the Mona Lisa? You just sit there and admire its beauty.
I don't think so, Earl.
She smelled real...
You got to say something.
She smelled real good, David.
Earl? Lily, I love you so much. Now, here's what I'm going to do, Lily. I'm going to ask to do 15 photo shoots of you in Central Park. So it's kind of like a date without asking you out on a date. And the reason why is I'm a big black pussy.
Okay, but will they be like good pictures, or will they just be
really
of my feet, man?
No, some of them will be out of focus. Especially in the face area, well, one would think that the focus is extremely important. And number one priority of a model is to make sure the face is in focus, except 9 out of 10 Lily pictures were blurry in the face.
One day Earl's going to snap and kill us both, and it's
go
going to
ahead.
be well worn.
Go ahead, yeah. That's fine. I mean, go ahead.
So
take me out. But if you're going to take me out, motherfucker, know that I come packing. I got baseball bats everywhere in this fucking apartment that I can just take out of a goddamn out of the thing. And trust me, I don't need a gun. I don't have a gun. Nope, not going to get a gun. You know why?
Because I've got guns, Earl.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm on a tangent now.
I was trying to help.
No, because I am a lethal motherfucking hitter. You know what 389 in JV means. Now you come in, you want to take me out, Earl? Come to this apartment. I'd go to Sirius XM without the baseball bat, but I ain't allowed. Well, you're allowed. You're invited to this apartment, sir. You're going to take me out? Mr. Easton's got something to say about that, then. Easton being the brand of this baseball bat, Robert.
I can't wait until your neighbor thinks there's a real problem. We have to explain to the police what we were doing.
She hates me so much. We are on barely speaking terms now. And the new thing that she does
that
to get
sexual
revenge, for these podcasts that we do that immediately go off the rails is that she takes her dog out. I got to say it quietly. She's listening.
Oh, absolutely.
And she takes
And if
her
not here on Patreon.com.
She takes the dog out. She slams the fucking door so loud. Well, here's the problem. She knows that I'm right here. I'm on the first floor, right? And she's on the second. And she's slamming that goddamn door. It shakes all the fucking paintings and shit that I got. It sometimes shakes the TV. It's a massive television.
When Eric was getting the food in the hallway.
I'm just saying, so if she's going to be slamming the door, I'm going to be doing these fired up podcasts.
Well, here we are.
How do you like them apples?
So, what was the relationship between Earl and Lily like when he was still in the romantic pursuit phase?
It was just what I said. It was a con job.
Sorry, I'm just checking my levels. We're good.
Our levels are fantastic. It was a con job. It was, can we go to Central Park walking around? I'll take some photos of you.
Did she only get the internship because he wanted to fuck her?
Whoa, jeez. Look, I can't throw the guy under the bus that hard.
You said he got an abortion last episode.
I'm saying he may have. I think didn't you bring that up?
No.
That was me.
You out of the blue.
I have to go check back at part 3.
Rob.
I'm going to have to go back and rewatch part 3 of the Midnight Rider Saga. Nevertheless, my point is that he didn't really, he doesn't have game.
Okay.
So you want to go out and go for a walk? You want to do the Central Park? You want me to take pictures? You want to do this? You want to do that? See, he's not a drinker. And I'm sorry, that sometimes it does. It's like it's hard to meet people sometimes if you're just not willing to go out there, have a few pops.
Sometimes you're riding to a gig with Big A and you go, "Is there vodka in martinis?" And he goes, "No, why?" And you go, "Because I don't like vodka." And somebody wants to know if I want to get martinis. So this is really important, Andrew. And he goes, "Nope, I'm 100% certain, Rob. No vodka in martinis." And then he goes, you send the text like, "That sounds great." And then he goes, "Oh, wait, dirty martinis have lots of vodka."
But there are 2 different ways to make martinis, gin or vodka. There's not one way. There's 2 separate ways. So I just want you to understand that. You can make a gin martini, which is really your classic martinis with gin. You can ask for a vodka martini. You should say vodka before you do so. A martini itself is gin. Andrew should have told you that. I worked at a fucking Irish pub for goddamn years and years.
If Andrew tried to tell me that, we would have been to the gig and back. By the time we got it out. Love the guy.
Robert, there is such a thing as a vodka martini, but there is usually customary to make your martini with gin.
I love Andrew. And you can see
I do
him
too.
on this Sunday's episode of...
Andrew's going to hang out on the Davey Mac Sports program for our Super Bowl special. Anyone's allowed. Just come on by. We're at the Dojo of Comedy. That's above Tiff's Ale House in Morris Plains, New Jersey. We're going to start broadcasting around 2 p.m. Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, so that if you want to go home to your family for the game, you can. But you can also hang out with us from like 2 to 3 or 2 to 4, however long we're going to stay, 2 to 5. I don't fucking know. And then you can get back to your house. Pure and simple. Stop judging me. It's going to be a great time. Make sure you're there. Make sure you're supporting all things East Side Empire now that I think about it.
Yeah, but before we get into all the plugs, we got a ways to go, David.
Yeah, let's go.
So let's
get back into this fucking show here.
So that was kind of their love life. Now, as a result of that, was Earl like the guy who was kind of nicer to her, cut her slack, let her do things that the other interns
She was an angel, of course. She was an angel. This woman could do no wrong. Did he treat her better? Did he treat her better than an intern? He probably treated her better than Ron Fez. No. I mean, the guy brought out all the stops for this lady.
I would be remiss. So Ron does kind of berate Earl for how he lets Lily get away with everything.
Gets away with everything.
Now, I would be remiss, producer Jared, whenever given the opportunity, does like to bring up the fact that while one time Lily sent him to get her lunch.
He hates her so much because of one time where she asked him to get her lunch. That is fucking hysterical. But also, it's not a reason to hate someone. It's a reason for you to go, hey, how about go fucking yourself? You're an intern, I'm an intern. There ain't no fucking way I'm getting your lunch. If, like, someone from the O&A staff were to ask me to do that, I would say, no, you can go fuck yourself. And I did.
Or they would come and be like, hey, Dave, I'm having a really stressful day. If I order us both lunch, would you be willing to pick it up for me?
Yeah.
There's a big difference between the two.
Yeah, if you're going to buy me the fucking shit,
You know what
I'll
I mean?
walk
Like,
downstairs
but I'm
and get it.
That's how you would have handled it,
Yeah.
Jared.
But I'm not picking up anybody's lunch. What, are you
No.
fucking insane?
I mean, I also have no issue picking up people's lunch if I'm out already doing stuff, but it just
I ain't gonna get anybody's lunch unless there's food in that bag for me.
Well, there's pizza
Period.
over there for us.
Fucking hey, baby.
Can't wait, baby. But so Lily is getting away with more, we're saying.
Always have to steal my kisses from you. I always have to steal my kisses from you. Always have to steal my kisses from you. I steal my kisses from you. Always have to steal my kisses from you. Always have to steal my kisses from you.
It's Ron and Fez show. Ron Bennington, Fez Watley. 866 Ron Zero Fez. Sounds like Earl got a little lucky last night, Fezzy. I don't know all the rumors. I don't know the latest guys.
Somebody's been stealing kisses.
Uh-oh. What happened last night? Earl actually attempted to force himself on our FM intern, which I believe, I'm not sure exactly, but I believe that's Pepper Hicks that he tried to force himself on. Earl! No, Lily. Earl, is that a little sign of the gossip? Well, something we should know?
No, they cannot confirm.
Do tell, Black Earl Douglas. Do tell.
Can't confirm or deny. Sounds like deny.
Yeah, exactly.
Since she said her mom would destroy her, her parents would kill her for being with someone that black, is the way she said it.
Yeah, not even just African American, but that black.
That black.
That's the problem.
All right, 866 Ron Zero Fez, 866 Ron Zero Fez. We're balmy 7 degrees out there this morning, Fez.
Oh yeah, sweating on my way in. It's that kind of cold where your whole body feels like it has the brain freeze.
All right, I would not know, Fez, because normally I walk to work.
Right.
I get a call this morning. Our friend Tracy says, "Hey, I'm heading out to Long Island. Why don't I swing by, pick you up, drive you into work today?"
Very nice.
Yeah, so I go, that would be delightful.
Star treatment.
She goes, "Hey, I'll get Fez too." I go, "No, he's much too far away."
You could have gotten me too.
Well, you take the train. That's plenty for you.
No, but I have like a 10-minute walk to the train.
Yeah, but she lives in New York, so she would have to leave New York,
right?
Go into Queens, take that rickety bridge into Roosevelt Island, pick you up, drive you back in, and then pick me up, and it's like an hour and a half.
I couldn't possibly take that long. It would have been nice to at least have the option.
Yeah.
Where I could have said, "Oh no, I'll take the train. Don't bother about me."
You had the option. I took it for you. I thought it was best. So that was very nice.
That was very, very nice.
Coffee and a croissant. She had it all ready. It was very, very delightful.
You know I love croissants.
I know, I had two.
I think it's my favorite baked good.
You wouldn't like this one because there was chocolate inside.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah.
Just two of the greatest worlds combining.
You know what you ought to do is move to New York. Seriously, it would be a world of difference for you.
I live in the city. I live on Roosevelt Island. It's considered part of Manhattan.
That's not Manhattan. That's Manhattan. That's not Manhattan. That's Manhattan.
Don't quote the movie Dark Water.
Everyone please see the movie Dark Water. All right, so I say to Tracy this morning, give me all the latest gossip, because she's a pal talker. I said, tell me about Happy Typing Girl, your fake fiance, Fez Don. Give me a little gossip, a little chat. You know what she told me?
What'd you get?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I hate people that won't gossip. I'm not a gossip myself, but I like to see who does gossip.
I tend to gossip.
You are a bad gossip. Dave, Eastside Dave, our FM producer, very bad gossip. Earl is a dull gossip. He never has any real stuff. It's real vague about, I'm not even saying. Oh, Brody.
Earl aspires to be a gossip.
Yeah, but nobody gives him any news whatsoever.
Yeah, he would love to have something juicy to bring you, but he just doesn't.
Whatever happened to board gossip? I guess that's gone since we lost Dave, huh?
Yeah, I thought other people were going to pick up the mantle there. I know Earl had talked about doing board gossip.
How do you pick up a mantle? Isn't a mantle above a fireplace?
Yeah, it must have another meaning besides that. Besides fireplace.
Pick up that shelf above the fireplace and carry it.
So, but I love to gossip. I will always tell you about my friends that live on Roosevelt Island.
Yeah, none of that matters to me, though. You tell me about gossip about people I don't care about.
I always bring you stuff about my sister.
Yeah, again, dull. I mean, you talk about her like, if this was like 1920 and you weren't allowed to bang people, it would be a really exciting thing. But you like act like everyone's a pilgrim. So if she goes out on a date, it's a big deal.
It's basically all I got to bring you in my gossip world.
Yes, I really don't have anybody. Really, the only person that gives me the juicy stuff is Dave. And let's face it, it's always just fucking lies. His stuff is not even page 6. It's just beyond. He just makes shit up, really. Which, you know, at the time, you're like, really? And then you find out it's just a lie. That's why board gossip crashed and burned. Too bad, though. I used to love the voice.
Well, it led to his demise, that's for sure.
Yeah. That brought him down.
Ron Bennington, Fez Whatley, The Ron and Fez Show. XM202.
We now rejoin Ron and Fez's 1,000 Reasons to Hate Chicago. Reason 415.
They call themselves the second city, but they're really third.
Reason 416.
Every time somebody farts, they do that Windy City joke.
Reason 417.
Stedman.
Reason 418.
They rebuilt after the fire.
Reason 419.
Their pizza is more like a cross between lasagna and a bundt cake.
Reason 420.
Dickface, Steve Bartman.
Reason 421.
They killed Chris Farley.
Reason 422.
Jerry Reinsdorf.
Reason 423.
It has far too many nicknames.
Reason 424.
Cub stink, Cub stink, Cub stink.
Reason 425.
Jim Belushi.
Reason 426.
Too many fat film critics, and yeah, I'm looking right at you, Ebert.
Reason 427.
Inbreds.
We'll be back shortly with more of Ron and Fez's 1,000 Reasons to Hate Chicago.
A little hard on the Bears there, huh?
A little big as they head into their Super Bowl.
Hey, Earl, big time for you. I know that coming up, is it next week, Fez, or the week after? Earl will be getting an employee evaluation.
It's going to be a week from this coming Wednesday.
Wow.
So he's got like a week and a half.
Anyway, we can tie that in for Wiki Takes Ron and Fez out to dinner. I would love that after the firing. Now, not only is Earl up for this evaluation, but there's also going to be an evaluation for the Midnight Rider. And here he comes.
It's the Rider. I gotta run, keep from hiding. I'm bound to keep on riding.
What are we talking about here? We're talking about evaluations, Daddy.
Yeah.
The Rider never signed up for that, but that's fine, okay. Ronnie B, it's recently come to my attention, I suppose, that Don the Destroyer Wicklin is going to be evaluating mine and Sapphire's performance.
That's true.
I ask, Ronnie B, how can the Rider be evaluated, says he? Can you evaluate dreams? Can you evaluate dusk in a Santa Fe saloon or the drizzle of a Spokane morning, Daddy?
I don't think you can.
Probably not.
Both of your answers are correct. No, you cannot evaluate these things like the Rider cannot be evaluated. You can only admire the Rider, sugar. Admire the tip-top tap of my yellow mask and red cap. Admire the bebopping feet of my groovy movie feet, Daddy. Admire the Rider's hopes and dreams like I admire Fort Worth valleys and Wichita streams.
What?
Stumbled a little bit on that one, Ronnie B.
So you did fine.
Well, you got a little bit of your mask in your mouth.
Right.
You might want to adjust that.
Admire the Rider like flowers in May, for its punches he throws and poetry he's flashing. But don't dare you get your honey in the way, or through the ring the Rider'll send you crashing. Do you see my point, Donnie Wickland? The evaluation process for the Midnight Rider is like trying to analyze why ponies are so cute or people put butter on toast. No one knows. Speaking of butter, I look over yonder into the producer's booth and see my creamy sweet Sapphire.
There she is.
And I know her evaluation is coming too. And I say, stay strong, Sappy. For if you can fend off DiBiase and Virgil, you can fend off Donnie Wickland, the Destroyer. So alas, Don, try to evaluate this 270-pound body of sweet soul. But no, you can't put a price on hope. And if the Rider should get an F on his report card, let it be known that it stands for funk, Daddy. I got one more silver dollar. And I ain't gonna let him catch me, no. I ain't gonna let him catch the Midnight Rider, baby. Hear that, Donnie?
Ryder, if you ever need to borrow any money, just let me know. I hate to think you're just walking around with that $1.
Well, he's down to his last one is the problem.
I love my silver dollar. And good luck.
The Rider just seems a little bit more confident about his own review than he does Sapphire's.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about Sapphire myself.
Sapphire seemed a little shaky these past 72 hours. I'm hoping she'll get back in the swing of things, Daddy.
What happened with you last night, Sapphire? Did you get anywhere with Lily?
No, not at all. I struck out pretty hard.
I'll tell you one thing Sapphire heard through the grapevine, though. After this show I know nothing about on this other thing.
Right.
The two of them had a long chat.
Really?
They said, could we be alone? We need to have some things to discuss. This is what's told to me by one of my people that I know.
Associates?
Yeah.
And I ended up getting an email from Lily last night.
Really?
Yeah.
What? I went home alone. I left work
Did you tell her time to buck up?
Yeah, I told her that at the start of the internship. I was like, let's get on the ground running. I didn't say anything more than I would say to any other intern.
Get on the ground running.
Get off the ground running.
Because I got this whole thing of I apologize if I have let you down, and I really think you guys are funny. I want to turn this around and start making my mark, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, somebody must have had a talk with her.
Oh, that talk was had.
Yeah.
For a good 15 minutes post-FM show.
Johnson, you're on Run Fez.
Yeah, I was wondering what year was on that silver dollar. Some of those old silver dollars are worth a shitload of money.
Yeah, that is true. You might be. That thing's worth a lot more than $1.
1876, Daddy, on this silver dollar.
That is so old.
Jim, you're on Run Fez.
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Hey, man.
I just want to tell the writer that I was reading in the WWE magazine that his half brother is the number one big man in WWE history. So if he's down to one last dollar, maybe he can borrow some from him.
Well, maybe I will give a shout out.
Doesn't even make sense.
To my half brother.
The number one guy in WWE history is not going to be Dusty.
No, it's just not going to happen.
Vince, you're on Run Fez.
Hey, I wanted to give my evaluation of the rider.
Sure.
He stinks.
Stinks. He said you stink.
Ronnie, maybe I stink like manure.
Hey, Vince?
Yeah.
Put a little bass in your voice if you're going to do a hate call. He stinks.
Later.
This guy stinks.
Some stink is good, Ronnie.
The stinky poo.
The stink of horse dung makes spring flowers pop up so pretty. So I will take that stink, Vinny.
Boy, you always look on the bright side, Ryder.
You're an optimist.
I look to the land of hope and dreams. I say, where's that glass? 'Cause I want it to be half full, Daddy.
Well,
wouldn't you want it to be all the way full?
You remind me of Tony Rinaldi. Here's Bill Quinn. Bill Quinn, you're on Run and Fez.
Yes, I'm just calling to let Earl know that messing around with them interns will cause you nothing but a bunch of trouble. Shouldn't be messing around.
There you go. You're doing the mess around, Earl. You better stop it.
Well,
why would you start doing the mess around?
I just wasn't thinking straight, that's all.
I'm not comfortable with this, Fez.
No, it's Black Earl, and he's putting his heart above his head here.
Yeah.
He really is. He's
That ain't his heart that's going above his head.
Uh-oh.
That's his head that's up above his heart. Because you're doing the mess around. Here comes Earl, everybody. Earl, where are you going? Chasing her like that.
Hide the intern.
And then he's going, baby, you better write a little email to the boss man.
You can talk about the pit, barbecue. The band was jumping, the people too. I'll mess around.
You know what?
They're doing the mess around.
Maybe we could do an album called The Songs of Sapphire. Just these old boogie woogie piano songs.
Just a nice picture of Black Earl and his yellow polka dots on the cover.
Hey, Jason, you're on Run Fez.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Yeah.
Hey, I'd like to do my evaluation of the rider here.
Sure.
Hey, I'd just like to say he's doing a great job. If Sapphire ever leaves you, I got your back. Give me a call.
There you go.
All right, baby. Keep it positive. Let's go.
When I say go, yes, sir. Shake your leg and do the mess around. I declare, do the mess around. Yeah, do the mess around. Everybody's doing the mess around.
TJ, you're on Run Fez.
Hey, Earl's dumb. He shouldn't be dipping his pen in the company ink.
There he is.
Get him to take you guys down, Ronnie.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fucking
No, Ronnie. Ronnie, don't do it, baby.
Yeah.
One more silver dollar?
Yeah, I could use one of those Ronnie B breaks I get every once in a while.
There's a long rainbow, Ronnie, that's got your name written on it. Pot of gold. Ronnie B. Says the W.
We can't stop Earl from being Earl. He's doing the mess around.
Well, he's just a dog.
Sassy, stay away from that sassy lassie Lily.
Kirby, you're on Run Fez.
Hey, dating people you work with is called shitting where you eat, and it's advised against.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this. I saw Earl take a fucking Dagwood sandwich into the bathroom.
They're doing the mess around.
Maybe he's not going to shit where he eats, but he will eat where she shits.
Now you see that girl with that.
He's doing the mess around.
He knows how to shake that thing, mess around. I declare she can mess around. Mess around. Everybody do the mess around.
Hey, what's up, gentlemen?
Hey, Dave, you're on Run Fez.
Hey, I wonder how many times Sapphire's going to pass out during his evaluation. Somebody's going to have to pull his face out of the mashed potatoes.
You know what I want to do? I want to get you an oxygen tank for your evaluation. I want you wearing one of those little things under your nose.
I know Ronnie and I don't get evaluated here, but my advice going in would be try not to faint in front of Wiki.
Maybe have you ever considered breathe strips? The thing that Jerry Rice used to wear.
That keeps you from fainting?
It gives you a lot of oxygen so he doesn't pass out.
Earl, you nervous about this?
No, not at all. I'm actually very looking forward to it, which I totally couldn't say last year. I was a nervous wreck last year.
Why were you nervous last year? You did better work last year than this year. You never fainted or went to the hospital last year.
This is the year he puts Wiki in his place, Ron.
She definitely got away with more. I mean, are you kidding? Oh, my lordy. Earl would let Lily do whatever she wanted. You want to talk about coming in late? Not that she did. To my recollection, she was pretty punctual. But I think there were some times, some laissez-faire attitude. Look, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, and this is way tangential. But it's Tales from the Satellite, and we like to give some dirt. And now that something has sparked my memory, because he gave her so much rope, and I love Lily, by the way. I'm a Lily fan. I'm not Jared. I don't have nothing against Lily. Think she's great. I do. But
she likes Earl.
There was a period where somehow she was battling my now ex-wife, and they were getting into screaming matches on the air during the show. I was like, fuck both of you, fuck everyone, but Earl, fuck you for allowing this shit to happen. Because now you've bred the princess of interns where she is so entitled, she can call producers' spouses at the time to scream at them? That's fucking absurd. If anyone should hate Lily, Jared, it should be me. I don't. I like Lily. The reason why I'm fired up now is because that's an Earl Douglas problem. Leadership. He's not a leader of men. No. He's one of the worst leaders, in fact, you'll ever encounter. Motherfucker should have been the goddamn captain of the Titanic. No, I take that back. In terms of Sirius XM, the two shittiest leaders are Earl Douglas and another guy whose names start with E. Shouldn't take long to figure that one out, should it? Two worst producers in the history of radio, and they are one and the same. They are opposite sides of the same coin.
I just got the E one. Stangles.
Stangl was a goddamn O&A producer?
Opie.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, it wasn't him.
Well, now I'm confused. But,
what do you want, E-Rock? Robert, sorry. Did I messed that up. Robert, what do you want? Don't edit that out.
What I want.
You keep that in.
What I want is you to never call me E-Rock again.
Sorry.
But, so Lily's getting some slack, clearly. And I think it's very funny you use the word that Earl bred the princess.
Bro, if you're in charge,
when he never got to breed her.
If you're in charge of a team, number one thing is leadership skills. Do you have them or don't you? I do.
And I'm going to start by telling you how to tie your shoes. And then I'm going to make you take a psych test. And then all the scouts, right? All the scouts that came to help me pick my team, I'm going to say, you can go home. I already know my guys.
Would you say...
And they're going to go, Bobby Brooks, you can't do that. And I go... I would just want the goalie who wouldn't take it.
All right, listen. You've gone fucking crazy. Would you say that I possess good leadership abilities?
Yes. Sorry,
I
really wish you had.
What was the hesitation?
I was drinking as you asked me the question.
Well, Jesus Christ, swallow faster. You swallow as slowly as Earl. I thought I was having a flashback to 2008, and the motherfucking black guy was going through his ginger ale because he's nervous about all the people he didn't book. And Ron's asking him, Henry Rollins, did you get him? No.
You need me.
Michael J. Fox, you get him? No.
I get what
Larry David, you get him? No.
I get what you're saying. You need me to swallow faster like I'm Earl's grandmother, not like I'm Earl.
I can swallow real fast, Robert and David.
So,
Robert, you got no idea how fast I swallow you. I swallow everything you got, Robert. I'm just waiting here for you, Robert, in hell. When you die, baby, we're going to have some fun.
No, I think I've covered most of my religious bases as of late. I've played for a lot of teams. I've been a real journeyman. Call me Robert Ory of the religious stuff.
7 championships.
Yeah, Big Shot Bob. Mm-hmm. If you check out the Dave Max Sports program, you'll see that's been my nomenclature. A little tangent here for me, just because
Well, listen.
I went to a basketball camp.
Doesn't get recognized so often. 7 NBA championships. Big deal.
I'm a big Robert Horry fan. Going into my junior year of high school, I went to a small D3 like summer camp, and I could shoot, but I'm 5'6", so I shot lights out, and they would call me Big Shot Bob.
Yes.
And then they'd be like, "Wait, why don't you play at all?" And I was like, "'Cause I'm 5'6".
And also because it sounds like you have asthma.
No, I hadn't.
With that fucking cough attack that you just had.
Well, that was because I swallowed so fast. You really put me between a rock and a watery place. But the other thing that's happening while this love talk and them bemoaning being single that's occurring is the idea we ended last episode on, Ron kind of puts into words, which is there's always one guy on the team, one guy in the group of pals, one guy on the radio show that gets just bullied.
The friend in your group who is bully might be a little strong, but
well, I mean, Ron's point is like, why would you even stay if you become that guy in the group? Why do you hang out with those people?
Well, the guy who kind of gets made fun of and stuff because they got nowhere else to go. In my group of friends, we had this kid. I won't say his name, but we used to call him Fredo because that was long before the whole Mario Cuomo thing or whatever. But we called him Fredo because he literally looked like Fredo Corleone from The Godfather. And he kind of actually had that vibe where, whatever, we would mock him. But if anyone else mocked him, we'd get pissed. We'd be like, you leave him alone.
So that's a big part of it. Right? If he's part of your crew, we have a guy named Buckley. He was the same way.
You're right.
We would abuse
Just
Buckley.
destroy him. But don't let anyone else make fun of Buckley.
No,
yeah.
It's time to go to war.
Yeah. I wish I could say I had the same attachment to Earl Douglas, but as you can see, I don't.
Well, and I mean, it makes sense if you truly think about the Ron and Fez history. As far as I can go back, right, you had Billy Staples.
No question.
But Billy truly fell under the beloved umbrella. If you shit on Billy, outside of the element of doing it within the show, like, they had his back.
Yeah, he was great.
And to this day, I would say one of the top 10 Ron and Fez producers.
Oh yeah,
right. Like
definitely
Yeah.
hysterical.
Even
I was always a big fan.
Yeah, even when it went bad, he was kind of like Fez in that. When he was having a bad moment, it was great radio.
Yeah, absolutely. The Orange Ball of Failure, I was there.
You had Al Dukes was that guy for a while that they just abused.
Classic.
And he kind of fell into the throw him under the bus.
Yeah, but still funny.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Until he left, and
Yeah.
then he became our guy, Al Dukes.
Yeah, and it was kind of like we miss him. Can I just say this real quick aside?
Please.
Today, Boomer and Geo, the morning show at WFAN that Al Dukes produces for, thought they were getting Randy Moss because they're on Radio Row in Las Vegas, which is when you go to the Super Bowl. Okay. And Radio Row, they literally set up all the big time radio stations, and people just go from one thing to another.
Boomer and Geo.
And they were going to have Randy Moss, and Al Dukes says, "Yeah, we got Randy Moss coming up." I mean, one of the greatest receivers of all time, Hall of Famer, big star on ESPN to this day. Actually, he does a great job on ESPN, and they're all excited. And then they go, Al's like, "Yeah, for some reason he wants to talk horse racing." Fucking Boomer Esiason goes, "Al, are you aware that there is a white guy, like an announcer named Randy Moss, who does horse racing?" And Al's like, "Oh, that can't be this. I mean, it's the Super Bowl." He's like, "You should really make sure." He booked the white horse racing announcer Randy Moss rather than that happened today. Oh, I saw that clip on Twitter. I laughed my fucking ass off. I said some things. My God.
Al Dukes is the best.
Oh, it was so funny.
Do you think he did it on purpose?
I don't know.
That was what made him so great. You didn't know if he was truly doing it on purpose or just.
I remember as a kid watching the Kentucky Derby on NBC. It was always broadcast by Randy Moss. Now Mike Tirico has a part of that. But it was always someone like I had forgotten about. There was a white guy horse racing announcer named Randy Moss, that's who he booked. I was fucking dying. The clip is right there on Twitter. Go check it out. It's fucking hysterical, bro.
So hilarious.
I love Al Dukes.
After Al,
I had a good conversation with him recently.
It was probably
last like 3 months or so.
It was probably Harry, right?
Yes. No, I mean you had your Wonder Boys, your Rorys. There was a lot. There was a lot of turnover.
But I'm saying, who was it right before you? that was the outcast that got abused.
Harry Elvis.
Right, Harry Elvis, who I think is still doing comedy.
Yeah, they only had now they had staff of 2. It was Earl and Harry, and
Harry who was the
Harry
one
got
getting
the boot or left, so that
Eastside Dave
got
comes
there.
in. He's immediately running laps around Earl. Earl starts to feel that coming on, so then they try to get rid of Dave, and he comes back as the rider, and now the rider's running circles as around Earl.
I'm like fucking Jason. You can't kill me.
But after Earl, it passed probably to Fez, and that's kind of where some of the tension started to grow. But it is a good point in that, and Ron brings up a good point. He's like, once it happens, you can't get out of it. Like Fez said, I think people stick around in those groups trying to wait for their opportunity to, if I get one good day of zingers in, I'll be on top. And Ron goes, yeah, but you can never. And I don't know if that's true, because,
I think there is a way to avoid it if you get a new person who joins the group, and this is, oh, look at this fucking weirdo. I always felt like that's where, we were attempting with the Fast Freddies of the world.
Yep.
Which we did. Go back into the archives and check out the Fast Freddy Fez St. Patrick's Drunken Debacle. It's a classic episode. But that's what, I thought, the Fast Freddies of the world would contribute to, he would be that guy. When there was no Earl is what I'm saying, because that was just the me and Chris Stanley days.
Yeah. And it is interesting to, see how other people try to avoid becoming that guy. Like, you bring in Fast Freddy. You've got guys like Sam, who would put out ridiculous facts about his life that didn't bother him. So that was the point people made fun of. So the things he actually cared about, you know what I mean? Nobody really attacked.
Right. If you put it out first, then you're the winner. Because, again, it's about producing. You just produced a bunch of content for the air.
You've got, the gossips of the world. And then you've got other guys who, like you said, were in that low man position, see things starting to go that way again, and will do anything they can to find somebody else and throw them under the bus, whether it be lie,
Gotcha.
take things away from them. What would your technique be? Let's say you were the Earl. You never really became the Earl of the show.
No.
I've never seen you in your career, but
No.
if you were going that route, because one option would be, right, you just come in with a gun.
No.
And you just go, you motherfuckers are going to respect me today.
No, I'm not going to be coming in with
Pretend it's a Twinkie.
We're
Pretend
not.
it's a Twinkie.
No, this isn't falling down. This is reality.
Okay.
These are the things that you need to understand. This is real life, my friend. Now, how would I come in? I would come in verbally, guns blazing. I've done it before. I've done it at every job that I've ever had, including my current job at the Rat. If someone thinks that they can get over on me verbally and they're going to take a little shot, I will fucking hit back harder. And I don't give a fuck about making an entire room of 15 people totally uncomfortable. I've even done that.
We know that.
Yeah, I've even done that recently. You're not going to do that. I will just say, fuck you, and now here are all of your faults. And if I get personal, sorry, you shouldn't have thought I'm some weak-ass bitch who you fucking are going to take a little fucking verbal shot at in order to raise your stock. See, I'm all for ball busting, but I notice when the person does it and they're doing it for the boss, right? Then fuck you. And I'll come back so hard on you that you're going to be, whoa, Dave, I was just kidding. No, you weren't kidding. You're trying to use me as a fucking piñata to score points with the boss. What do you think? I don't know how fucking power plays start? I've been working in radio for 20 fucking years, cunt. So I know how that fucking game is played, and I play it phenomenally. Actually, I don't play it. I simply respect everyone that I work with and for. But if you think you're going to fucking challenge me verbally, get ready to get fucking eviscerated. I will go to the lowest of low, the sewer, the depths. I will go as personal as fuck in order to take you down. So yeah, if you think you're going to treat me, I'm going to be that guy in the circle of friends, you are sadly mistaken. I will turn that entire circle against you. And that did happen at my job 6 months or to a year ago. And I had to lay a verbal smackdown on this person. I'm not going to go into this story because I enjoy the job. I have a great job. I do very well on WRT 95.9 FM. Biggest rock station in New Jersey. I've been number one 33 books in a row. Okay? 33 books in a row.
How many?
33. That's 8+ years.
Larry Legend?
Yeah, Larry Legend. Me. But the point is, someone tried that. Tried a little joke at my expense in front of the boss. I was like, you just fucking tied a noose around your neck, motherfucker. I went off, and man, was it uncomfortable. But at the same time, you know what happened? After I made the fucking entire room uncomfortable, the boss comes up to me and goes, good for you. And my stock went up in the boss's eyes, and that guy's stock went dropped through the toilet. And that guy's no longer working at the station. And maybe that guy was the evening drive time guy. Sorry.
You don't want to burn too much. So, yeah, it's all right, fair enough. So you're saying if I found myself like where perhaps a former outcast of a show that everybody just mocked ruthlessly was now trying to make me that guy, you would just go in guns blazing. Metaphorically.
Metaphorically.
Not the literally that I was envisioning.
You want to fucking tussle? I will literally pull out every fucking dirty, fucking awful thing that I know about you, and I know shit about Earl or whoever the fuck. I mean, Earl wouldn't have tried. Well, I guess he tried or whatever.
No.
He didn't try.
Yeah, I don't think he really ever stood up to you.
He didn't try that.
All right.
You know why I love you, Earl, for that? You know what, Earl Douglas? I'm going to change my opinion right now. The fact that you never tried that shit makes me love you. Keep talking. And now, I know I get fired up, Earl Dougie, but now I want a hug. I want an invitation to SiriusXM to hug Earl Douglas. And maybe a kiss. Now that's awkward, but still.
On the butt?
Is he kissing my butt or am I kissing his butt? Because I think it's a kind of a lose-lose for both.
Does it matter? That's what I was going to say. Speaking of kissing ass, Earl was accused earlier of kissing Lily's ass, and apparently, as the writer got a report from Dave, Eastside Dave, who was working at FM, so maybe you can provide some direct commentary on this.
Oh, that's right. I was splitting, huh?
Well, you were...
The writer on Satellite and then Eastside Dave on 92.3.
So Eastside Dave told the writer about the conversation that Lily and Earl had about where they were at in life and how Lily needed to get her shit together and she was letting down the whole show. And the writer is just giddy while recounting all this to Ron. He can't even get it out.
That's awesome.
Remember that at all?
No. Why would they have this conversation from... No, I sort of do, because I feel like this could have taken place in the elevator from going from the Ron and Fez show noon to 3 at Satellite. We had a few hour break, and then around 5:30 we started walking over to 92.3 K-Rock to be on from 6 to 9. And I think that there was a conversation like that in the elevator going up at K-Rock. And I was amazed that this gentleman, who I call Captain Clusterfuck, is giving advice on how someone needs to tighten up.
Get ahead in the
shape
business,
up.
for Christ's sakes. Oh, my God.
All of a sudden, he's Tony Robbins?
Oh, boy.
The hell?
And did you notice a big change out of Lily?
No.
Because apparently she wrote Ron an email that evening about sorry, and she would step her game up, and she wants to take
She said that?
Yeah.
I was going to say, all I witnessed was her diving deeper and deeper into the depths of marijuana. Just like Robert Tambura.
Well, I hope that I bring more to the table.
You do. You're doing a great job.
Significantly more to the table.
Yes. You're doing a fantastic job.
Several standard deviations worth of significance as well. But anyway, as the day continues, they bring up the fact that nobody's done board gossip since Earl and Fez rigged the vote against Dave.
Classic bit. Put it on the back burner, I guess.
Fully leaning into Dave.
Yeah.
And goes, I thought somebody else would have picked it up, like maybe Earl. Oh, wait, Earl sucks. And
Yeah.
the episode kind of ends there.
Yeah.
And the next day, we hear about Earl again when a gentleman named Paul O calls in.
Ah, I love him.
To respond to the fact that Earl was sent the raw footage of a movie called Gap.
Uh-oh.
Does not know where it is in the office. He lost this raw footage of the Gap, and it may be out there in the universe. But we can't dive too much into that without getting into the whole story that is Gap.
We gotta dive into Gap. There's limitless comedy and insanity in the fucking Gap story.
I'm always diving into Gap, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay, Robert. Okay, please don't touch me. Don't touch me when you're just doing disgusting sex comments. Ow! No, Gap is hysterical. I love Paulo. I'm a Paulo mega fan. Always have been. I don't know why. I find him to be so fucking funny. I loved all of his phone calls. Every single last one of them. I'm not even going to go into Gillo, who's a goddamn legend. God bless her soul.
We probably will during the Gap saga, but you know, I love.
He lost that footage. Earl lost the fucking footage.
It was the raw footage. It wasn't the movie,
of the
or
movie
anything yet. So people are saying it might be out in the world. Like it may have ruined him. We don't know, but we will find out next week. You love Paulo. I love you, Davey Mack, but in a heterosexual way.
Thank you. Same to you, Robert. Okay, same to you. And honestly,
and can I tell you what else?
Yeah, please go.
The plethora, the cornucopia of places where people can find you, such as the Davey Mack Sports Program, the Tales from the Satellite, which you're watching right now, either on YouTube or Patreon.com/EastsideDave, the Davey Mack and Son Wrestling Podcast.
Correct.
Roy and Dave analyze wrestling on the Rat.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite and the fastest growing adult rated and themed Star Wars and now everything Disney related podcast, Yaddle Chattel.
Yaddle Chattel, that's hosted by Jedi Jared, who also contributes to this show in a substantial way. It's Jedi Jared Fishman, White Jared, Cream Pie Jones, whatever you want to call him. But the East Side Empire is thriving. We are asking you to keep spreading the word. And you know what, Robert? Why don't we just throw this out there? You want to advertise? Get to me at DaveyMackShows@gmail.com. You want advertising on this show? You want advertising on one of those other shows? DaveyMackShows@gmail.com. You want Robert and I to give you a live read? You want to fucking read like the Rider? DaveyMackShows@gmail.com. All right? We'll make some sort of arrangement. We're looking for some ads because Robert drives from Pennsylvania for goddamn 9 hours for this fucking shit. So we do have to, at least pay for Robert's travel bills. We do this right here in my beautiful apartment, which I'm going to be getting evicted from because Barbara, above me is a goddamn fucking old bitch.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I love you, Dave. I love
you, Robert.
The Davey Mack Davidians out there watching
love you guys.
this. Even you, Kevin. There's your shout out. Thank you for tuning in. Check out Uncancelable Records. We got a bunch of albums that Dave just learned about during the break.
He just produced Aaron Berg.
We just put one out for Berg. We've had a couple of his. We had the #1 album twice last year on iTunes and Amazon.
Look at this.
It was called Sports Illustrated Comedian of the Year by Donovan, a.k.a. Crip Daddy. Now, you might not have seen it get nominated for things, but that's because it wasn't as well known. But it did hit #1 both when it debuted and when he passed.
Awesome, Robert.
So, check that stuff out. If you want to see me do comedy, why would you? But follow me on Instagram.
He's very
and I'll
good.
Put out the dates.
No, I'm not going to do that. We're not doing this. He is killing as a stand-up comedian. Do you go by Robert Tamburo or Bobby Tamburo for your stage name, please?
I go by Bobby Tamburo.
So make sure you
Bobby T.
Google Bobby Tamburo for stand-up comedy because he actually is killing. I'm not going to allow him to do the fucking self-insulting thing with his stand-up comedy. See, remember, I'll allow you to do, the self-insulting thing when we're talking about our personal lives. But as far as professionals go, we're currently the greatest in the business. We're the best in the biz right now.
I would not dispute
Period.
you on that.
That's it.
I would not dispute you on this. This was a great episode. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Good night, radio fans.
Look at that. What a sign. I think you got a text upon completion.
I gotta run to keep from hiding. I'm bound to keep on riding. And I got one more silver dollar. And I ain't gonna let them catch me, no. I ain't gonna let them catch the Midnight Rider.